After my dad's funeral, when everyone was talking about who gets what from his money and stocks, my brother-in-law, who's married to my sister Kelly, suddenly said that all of it, including $5 million, should go to Kelly, the oldest sibling. My sister and brother-in-law were happy, but the lawyer told them they couldn't just decide that. My name's John Watson. I'm 42, work in sales, and have a wife and 2 kids. My dad owned a big part of a company, and even though he was old, he still worked. My sister Kelly, who's older than me, has always been a bit of a problem for our parents with her bad behavior. My sister, who's now in her middle years, still doesn't have a steady job and just lives her life however she wants. I've never really liked her, so I've always kept my distance. Then, when she turned 50, out of the blue, she brings home this guy and says, "I'm getting married." The guy, Chris Adams, is younger and good-looking, but he's pretty lazy and not very pleasant. My sister starts asking Dad for money for the wedding like it's no big deal. She blows through the cash real quick and then has the nerve to ask for more, which really upsets Dad. She figures she'll inherit everything eventually, so why not? I just watch her with a cold stare. Less than a year after she gets married, Dad has a heart attack while playing golf and passes away a few days later. It hits me hard, and I feel really sad. The sudden news of Dad's passing shocked all his friends, and our phones wouldn't stop ringing with condolences. But I couldn't just sit there and cry. I took charge, helping my stunned mom with all the arrangements for the funeral. As usual, my sister was nowhere to be found, off doing her own thing. After the funeral, utterly exhausted, Mom and I finally got a chance to catch our breath. But the very next day, a lawyer showed up at our door to talk about Dad's will. Mom and I already knew what was in it, but my sister and her husband barged in, clueless about the whole thing, and dropped a bombshell. All of Dad's stocks and the $5 million inheritance will go to my wife, the oldest daughter. So, hands off. Mom and I were speechless at their audacity. "We did it, Kelly. Now we're set for life," cheered my brother-in-law, fist pumping with joy. The lawyer, clearly surprised, spoke up, "Hold on a minute." As my sister glared, the lawyer gave them a stern look and said, "Kelly, you're not entitled to any inheritance." My sister and her husband were stunned, protesting, "That can't be right. Kelly's the oldest daughter, she should get everything." It was clear my brother-in-law had been banking on that inheritance, assuming my sister would get it all. Their expressions shifted as the lawyer spoke softly. "Did you not know? Kelly is not Mr. Watson's biological child." Suddenly, my sister's face paled, her eyes darting to our mother. "Mom?" Our mother wore a complex expression. While I had always known my sister was a half-sibling, it seemed she had been kept in the dark. She began shaking our mother, almost frantic. "Mom, what does this mean?" "Kelly, you're from my previous marriage," our mother muttered, shaken by my sister's grip. My sister, who had often teased me about being the favorite child, now wore a stunned expression. "But if she was legally adopted, she should still have inheritance rights," my brother-in-law interjected, his voice rising. "Isn't that so, Kelly?" "Yes, that's what I thought," my sister replied, but our mother shook her head. There had been no legal adoption. Both my sister and brother-in-law seemed incredulous. "That can't be. I'm the oldest daughter. Even Dad said so." My sister's anger turned towards me. "I won't let you take everything," she snapped, to which I responded, irritated by her entitlement. "After all the support Dad gave you, you still say that? Be quiet." "I'm his rightful heir." My sister and brother-in-law protested. But what's wrong with a father supporting his daughter? I sighed, feeling the weight of the situation. While it's normal for parents to support their children, my sister had been using my father's money to settle debts and deal with various troubles. Mrs. Watson, John, who had been silent until now, suggested, "Why don't we let Kelly see the will too?" "The will?" "I have no idea about that," my sister panicked, although it was her own fault for not paying attention. Dad wanted us all to discuss the will's contents when he made it. But my sister brushed it off and went out to play instead. When I pointed this out, my brother-in-law gave her a fierce glare. What were you thinking? This was important. Faced with the question of what to do next, they agreed to hear it. The lawyer then revealed Dad's will, stating clearly that the inheritance was for me and my mother. It also explained why Dad didn't adopt my sister. Initially, he intended to, but he grew disappointed with her behavior towards me, her half-brother, and her reckless spending as she got older. So, I actually have no inheritance rights. Realizing this, my sister was stunned. Damn it! What now? Suddenly, my brother-in-law raised his voice, accusing, "You lied to me. You said you had money." His demeanor turned aggressive, leaving my mother and sister shocked. But I wasn't surprised. My brother-in-law had often shown his greed. Perhaps he even married my sister for her money. "Kelly, don't come back until you've got some money," he commanded. "Wait, Chris? What do you mean? I thought I was going to be wealthy. What a letdown." Roughly pushing past my sister, my brother-in-law stormed out of the room. Left behind, my sister glared at us, her face red with anger, and cried out to our flustered mother, "Mom, why didn't you have me adopted? It's not fair that only you get the inheritance. I should have gotten something too. But you didn't handle it right. This is awful, Mom," she sobbed, making a scene. I was taken aback by her outburst, but the lawyer seemed unfazed, perhaps accustomed to such drama. "Why does he get everything?" "Because I'm Dad's son," I responded, and my sister's eyes filled with anger as she lunged at me, shouting, "You! It would have been better if you were never born." I thought to myself that even if I hadn't existed, Dad would likely have made the same decision given my sister's character. Before I could say anything, the lawyer calmly intervened. "Kelly, if you continue like this, it will involve the police," making my sister flinch, possibly recalling her past shoplifting incidents. "Kelly," our mother called out, tears in her eyes. 6 months had passed, and the inheritance proceedings went smoothly without any hiccups. Though my sister and brother-in-law grumbled for a bit, the lawyer's efficient management left them with no room to meddle. My mother gave my sister some money, but I refrained from commenting on it. What bothered me most was their sudden disappearance with the funds, displaying their blatant gold-digging behavior, which left a sour taste in the mouths of our relatives who were aware of the situation. One day, I took my mother, wife, and daughter out for a meal. Thanks to my wife's suggestion, my mother, who had been somewhat withdrawn since Dad's passing, seemed more cheerful in the company of her adorable granddaughter. "Hey, Mom, why don't you come live with us?" I proposed. "But you know Kelly might drop by sometimes. She only shows up when she needs money, right? Don't be too accommodating with her," my mother hesitated. Her reluctance was understandable, given that my sister is her biological daughter. Plus, if our family moved into the family home, my sister might stir up trouble again. Respecting her concerns, I simply asked her to think it over as I drove towards the family home to drop her off. As we pulled up, we noticed lights on in the supposedly empty house. It wasn't the time for the helper to be there, so maybe my sister had returned. With that in mind, I parked the car in the garage. "Let's pop in for a quick coffee," I suggested. As we stepped out of the car and headed towards the entrance, a car suddenly swerved towards us, narrowly missing us. Reacting to my daughter's cry, I instinctively shielded my wife. Ouch! Thankfully, the car only grazed me, but I was thrown into a nearby flower bed, taking a hard knock. The car came to a halt after hitting the garage entrance. "Are you all right, honey?" My wife and daughter rushed over to help me up, while my mother stood trembling at the entrance, understandably shaken. Panic ensued. I was rushed to the hospital by ambulance and had to stay overnight. Later, I learned that the driver was Chris Adams, my brother-in-law. He claimed to the police that he mistook the accelerator for the brake, but I doubted his explanation. When my mother and sister visited me in the hospital, my sister looked at me coldly and remarked, "You're surprisingly resilient, aren't you?" I couldn't help but think that if I had been seriously injured, my mother would have inherited everything. "Too bad for you," I said with a smirk. My sister visibly tensed. "You were counting on it, weren't you?" I noticed her discomfort as she looked away. Well, Mom told me she plans to waive her inheritance from me, so causing such an accident was pointless. My sister seemed taken aback by this revelation. It appeared incomprehensible to her that someone would refuse what they could inherit. I have a wife and kids, so Mom asked me to pass it on to them. That's what parents do. But, my sister stuttered. I even made a will early on, following Dad's example. I continued, leaving my sister speechless. So unfortunately, my share won't be going to Mom anymore. My sister trembled and shook as she stared at me. Can't you at least give me some? There's $5 million, right? When I firmly refused, my sister's face contorted into a furious expression as she grabbed my collar. Give me half. I'm your sister. I regarded her with pity as she continued to scream in an unsettling tone, perhaps driven to madness by the prospect of the inheritance. Don't you realize that your greediness would disappoint Dad? My sister's face flushed with anger as she reached for my throat. Kelly, what are you doing? My mother returned, her voice raised, as nurses arrived to escort my sister out. Although my mother seemed inclined to defend my sister, it was clear that my sister had directed insults towards her too. Where did I go wrong in raising her? It was heartbreaking to hear my mother say this with sadness in her voice. Shortly after, my mother fell ill. As her condition worsened, my wife and I stepped in to assist with transportation and household tasks at the family home. This seemed to upset my sister, likely because she had encountered my wife during her visits to ask for money or had heard about our help from our mother. One day, my sister called me abruptly. From now on, we'll take care of Mom. You two don't need to come, she declared. What's this all about? I tried to reason with her, but my sister didn't listen and hung up, claiming it was already decided. I confirmed with my wife, who had received the same message and been dismissed. Concerned about my sister's lack of experience in caregiving or household duties, I quickly reached out to my mother. Surprisingly, my brother-in-law had some caregiving experience. At that point, my mother was still quite independent, so it seemed manageable for the time being. I felt a bit relieved. However, within a month, my mother was rushed to the hospital by ambulance due to a medication dosage error. She appeared alarmingly frail when we arrived. The doctor was puzzled. My mother had never made such a mistake before. While my wife stayed with her, I went back to the family home, which was in disarray. The fridge was empty, despite my mother's love for cooking, and it seemed the hired help had been canceled without discussion. I felt ashamed for even considering trusting my sister and was furious. A significant amount of money had been withdrawn from my mother's bank account, even though her bank card and PIN were secured in the safe. Thankfully, the account containing the inheritance was untouched in a safe deposit box. But most of the funds allocated for living expenses were gone. I gathered essential items for my mother's hospital stay, along with her bank card, and returned to explain the situation to her. Did Kelly? My mother seemed unaware of the bank card situation. However, when I inquired about the medication error, she looked somber and confessed that it was prepared by my brother-in-law. Mom, perhaps it's best not to allow my sister into the house anymore, I suggested. John, I promised to take care of you, but the house is in such disarray, and you've lost so much weight. Have you been eating properly? My mother's words weighed heavily on me. Mom, you should come live with us. I'll build a home where we can all be together, I proposed, causing my mother to break down in tears. However, her health continued to deteriorate, despite the doctor's efforts. Perhaps the incident with my sister had weakened her heart. She never recovered and eventually passed away, almost as if following my father. Upon returning to the family home to make funeral arrangements, I discovered that all the valuables had vanished. It appeared my sister and brother-in-law had taken them in their desperate pursuit of money. Standing amidst the empty rooms, I was first shocked and then consumed by a fierce anger. I vowed to hold them accountable for their actions. The day after my mother's funeral, my sister and I were scheduled to meet with the lawyer, presumably to discuss the inheritance. Too bad. Mom's inheritance rightfully belongs to me, her daughter, my sister boldly declared. I couldn't help but chuckle at her statement, as it seemed she was gravely mistaken. Let's see what the will says, I suggested. As the lawyer unveiled the will, my sister's face drained of color. No, this can't be. Kelly is not entitled to inherit anything. That's Dad's final wish, my brother-in-law exploded. However, the lawyer calmly reiterated the same statement. This is absurd. Kelly is that old woman's biological child. My brother-in-law erupted, sweeping items off the table in anger. You can't deceive us. Give us the inheritance now. Chris, did you try to harm my mom? I confronted him. He shot me an irritated glare. What? I never did such a thing, he retorted. Then why was there a mistake with her medication? I pressed further. My brother-in-law scowled in annoyance. Who cares about that, John? It's outrageous that we're not getting any inheritance, my sister interjected, seemingly losing her composure. What have you done? I asked her, stunned. It seemed she hadn't rushed over after hearing about our mother's passing, but had been banking on the inheritance to cover her expenses. Tell me this isn't true. I'm getting nothing. My sister demanded of the lawyer. Well, the lawyer began, carefully explaining the legal distribution of the inheritance. However, after deducting the amount my sister had withdrawn and the items she had sold, there was almost nothing left. She scratched her head in frustration. This outcome was reached after consulting with the lawyer in advance, I interjected. That can't be. It can't be this little. My sister muttered to herself, clearly dissatisfied. Having relied on our parents without ever experiencing the hardships of work, she seemed out of touch with reality. I couldn't contain my contempt for her. Mom thought you'd take care of her, but you just took her money and abandoned her, you ungrateful person. I couldn't hold back my anger. Taking care of someone costs money, you know? What are you talking about? My sister shot back. Then show me the detailed expenses you used for Mom's living costs. I'll cover the necessary expenses, I challenged her, extending my hand. My sister's face paled, and her lips trembled. I don't have that. Without receipts, it won't be recognized, the lawyer emphasized, leaving my sister speechless. Facing her, my brother-in-law attempted to sway me with a pleading tone. John, your sister really needs help. Can't you lend her a hand, even just a little? I declined firmly, feeling my frustration growing, and it seemed my brother-in-law was reaching his limit too. If everything had gone as planned, Kelly would have had the entire inheritance by now, he muttered. What do you mean by that time? I questioned, but before I could delve deeper, my brother-in-law let slip a revealing comment. Because of this guy, nothing ever goes smoothly. I was supposed to get a new car, but all I got was barely enough for repairs. My sister desperately tried to interject, but it was too late. That's a serious accusation. It sounds like fraud, the lawyer remarked, holding a recorder and smiling at the couple. What? That's illegal. I clearly stated at the outset that this meeting would be recorded, and you both agreed to it. My brother-in-law paled upon realizing his mistake. Turning to him, I declared, Chris, I'll be pressing charges for that accident. Don't be absurd. There's no evidence. You've just provided the evidence yourself. My sister burst into tears and shook my brother-in-law in frustration. You fool, it's all your fault. What are we going to do now? Eventually, my brother-in-law faced criminal charges. His previous offenses also came to light, leading to his detention by the police. My sister, implicated as an accomplice, received a lesser sentence. However, unable to afford her rent, she sought help from relatives but was rejected by everyone. As for me, I continued to work diligently without relying on any inheritance, finding solace in the dividends from stocks as a small pleasure.
The autumn light filters through bare branches, casting skeletal shadows across my father's casket. I focus on these shifting patterns, anything to avoid looking at my mother's face, as she grips the arm of a girl I've never seen before. A girl who can't be more than 24, wearing a black dress that still has the fresh pressed creases of a recent purchase. My throat burns with unshed tears. Dad always said I was just like him, better at swallowing pain than showing it. Now his silence is permanent, and mine feels like it might choke me. Zariah, my mother's voice cuts through the minister's droning. Come meet your sister. Sister. The word hits me like a physical blow. I'm an only child. Was an only child. The girl beside my mother shifts uncomfortably, her eyes downcast. This is Serena, my mother continues, her voice carrying that artificial sweetness that always meant trouble when I was growing up. Your father and I have been meaning to tell you about her for some time. The minister pauses his eulogy, clearly sensing the tension crackling through our small gathering. My childhood friend Michelle squeezes my hand, but I barely feel it. Everything has gone numb except the pounding in my chest. What are you talking about? My voice comes out hoarse, unfamiliar. Perhaps this isn't the best time, the family lawyer, Harrison, interjects. He's been hovering at the edges of our group, clutching his briefcase like a shield. No, this is exactly the right time, my mother says. Miguel would have wanted everything out in the open. I want to scream that she doesn't get to speak for him anymore. That 28 years of being his daughter gives me more right to know what he would have wanted. But the words stick in my throat as Harrison steps forward, pulling papers from his briefcase. Your father made some adjustments to his will in the final months, he explains, not quite meeting my eyes. He legally recognized Serena as his daughter and adjusted the inheritance accordingly. The ground seems to tilt beneath my feet. Michelle's grip tightens, keeping me anchored. What adjustments? I manage to ask. The estate will be divided between your mother and Serena, Harrison says quietly. He felt they needed the security more. A hollow laugh escapes me. Security? I'm being erased. No one's erasing you, dear. My mother's tone is placating, but her eyes are hard. Your father simply wanted to make things right with Serena. You've always been so independent, so capable. The girl, Serena, finally looks up at me. There's something in her expression I can't quite read. Guilt, fear, whatever it is, it makes my skin crawl. Did you know about this? I ask her directly. Before today? She opens her mouth to respond, but my mother answers for her. Serena has been through enough. This isn't the time for interrogations. I look down at my father's casket, polished wood reflecting the weak sunlight. Dad and I had our Sunday calls every week, even after I moved across the city. He never mentioned Serena, never hinted at any of this, but there had been something different in his voice these past few months. A hesitation when I asked about Mom. A heaviness in his silences. The minister clears his throat, clearly eager to continue the service. But as everyone's attention shifts back to him, I catch something from the corner of my eye. Serena slipping something into her pocket. Something that glints like metal. My father's watch. The one he always said would be mine someday. The numbness inside me cracks, letting in a flood of white-hot rage. But before I can speak, before I can move, I feel it. The faintest brush against my arm, like fingertips I've known all my life. A presence so familiar it stops my breath. For just a moment, I swear I can smell Dad's aftershave, hear the echo of his laugh. And underneath it all, a certainty blooms. He's trying to tell me something. Something hidden in those strange, heavy silences of our final conversations. The minister's words wash over me, meaningless now. My mother stands triumphant beside her new daughter, but I barely see them. My eyes are fixed on the casket, on the last physical reminder of the man who raised me. The man who taught me that silence often holds the deepest truths. I will find out what really happened in those final months. What turned my father's love into disinheritance? What secrets lie beneath this performance of grief and family, even if it means burning everything to the ground? The box of photos sits heavy in my lap, each one a knife twisting deeper. Dad and me at my college graduation, teaching me to drive, building that ridiculous treehouse that nearly killed us both. His smile never changes, warm, steady, real. Nothing like the tight grimace I'd seen in our last few video calls. I'm sitting cross-legged on his study floor, surrounded by the remnants of his life. Mom's already talking about clearing things out, but I convinced her to give me today. Just today, to say goodbye to this room that smells like leather and old books and him. My fingers brush something sharp beneath a stack of papers. A leather-bound journal I've never seen before, its spine cracked with use. My heart stutters as I open it, recognizing Dad's precise handwriting. "What are you doing in here?" I slam the journal shut, shoving it behind me as my mother appears in the doorway. She's changed out of her funeral clothes into one of her designer suits, perfectly put together as always. "Just looking through some memories," I say, holding up a photo. "Remember this camping trip?" She barely glances at it. "Serena's moving into your old room next week. I need this space cleared by then." The casual cruelty of it steals my breath. "My room? You're giving her my room?" It's not your room anymore, Zariah. You haven't lived here in years." She steps closer, surveying the mess I've made. "And you're making this harder than it needs to be. Your father made his choices." "Did he?" I stand up, the journal pressing against my back. Because the father I knew wouldn't just replace me without a reason. Something flickers across her face. Fear? But it's gone so fast I might have imagined it. "People change," she says. "Even parents. Even the ones we think we know completely." "Not like this." I grab another photo, thrust it at her. "Look at him here. Look at how he was with me. Tell me that was a lie." She pushes the photo away. "You always did idolize him too much. Made him into something he wasn't." "The only person making him into something he wasn't is you." The words burn coming out, but I can't stop. "What did you do to him? What did you and Serena—" "Oh, enough!" Her voice cracks like a whip. "I've been patient with your accusations because you're grieving. But if you can't accept reality, maybe you should leave." "Fine." I gather the photos, sliding the journal into my bag while her back is turned. "But this isn't over." "It is over, Zariah. The will is clear. The decisions are made." She blocks the doorway, her expression softening into something almost pitying. "Let it go. Move on. That's what your father would want." "No?" The certainty in my voice surprises us both. "That's what you want, and you don't get to speak for him anymore." I push past her, photos clutched to my chest. But at the stairs, I pause. "You know what's strange? Dad called me every Sunday for years. Never missed once. Except for the last 3 months. That's when everything changed, wasn't it?" She doesn't answer, but her silence says enough. Back in my apartment, I curl up in my reading chair. The one Dad helped me pick out when I first moved in. The journal sits unopened in my lap, heavy with possibilities. Part of me wants to call Michelle, let her steady presence ground me before I dive in. But this feels private, sacred. The first few pages are ordinary enough. Appointments, random thoughts, grocery lists. But then the tone changes. The handwriting gets tighter, more urgent. "Something's wrong," he wrote. "The numbers don't add up. Karen's hiding something, but when I ask, she—" The entry ends abruptly. I flip through more pages, heart pounding as his notes become more cryptic. References to bank accounts I've never heard of, a series of dates and locations. And on the last page, a roughly drawn map with an X marked in red ink. Something falls from between the pages, a small scrap of paper with an address I don't recognize. Below it, in Dad's handwriting, "The truth is here. Be careful who you trust." My hands shake as I read the words again. All those silent moments in our final calls. He was trying to tell me something, leading me here. I grab my phone, pull up the address on my map app. It's on the other side of the city, in an area I've never visited. Every instinct says to wait, to think this through. But Dad's words echo in my head. Be careful who you trust. Right now, the only person I trust is him. I grab my keys, the journal secure in my bag. Whatever truth Dad wanted me to find, whatever he was afraid to say out loud, I'm going to find it. Tonight. The journal sits open on my steering wheel, its pages ghostly blue in the dashboard lights. I've been parked outside this abandoned strip mall for 20 minutes, trying to match Dad's crude map to the reality in front of me. The empty storefronts stare back like dead eyes, their windows papered over with ancient "for lease" signs. My phone buzzes. Terrence. I've been ignoring his calls since the funeral, but something makes me answer this time. "Where are you?" His voice is tight with worry. "Michelle said you weren't answering texts." "I'm fine." The lie tastes bitter. Just needed some space. "At midnight? In the industrial district?" There's a pause. "I can see your location, Z. You shared it with me last year, remember?" I close my eyes, cursing my past self's safety precautions. "I'm handling something." "Let me help." The gentleness in his voice nearly breaks me. "Whatever it is, you don't have to do it alone." The words catch in my throat. Terrence has been my rock since college, the one person who's seen me at my worst and stayed anyway. But this feels different. Dangerous, maybe. "Can you—" I swallow hard. "Can you just stay on the phone while I check something?" "I'm already getting in my car." "No, don't." But he's hung up. I grab my flashlight and Dad's journal, scanning the area one more time. According to the map, there should be something behind the old pharmacy. My shoes crunch on broken glass as I pick my way through the empty parking lot. The back of the building is worse. Graffiti-covered walls, overflowing dumpsters. But there, half hidden behind a rusted air conditioning unit, is a door with a familiar symbol scratched into its frame. The same symbol from Dad's map. My hands shake as I trace the marking. What was he doing in a place like this? A noise behind me makes me spin, heart in my throat. But it's just a cat darting between shadows. Still, the fear jolts me into action. I pull out the key I found tucked into the journal's binding and slide it into the lock. It fits. Inside, the darkness is absolute. My flashlight beam reveals shelves of old files, dusty furniture. The air smells of mold and secrets. "What the hell are you doing here?" I whirl around, nearly dropping the flashlight. Serena stands in the doorway, her face pale in the reflected light. "I could ask you the same thing." My voice sounds steadier than I feel. She steps inside, closing the door behind her. "You found his journal." Not a question. My grip tightens on the flashlight. "How did you know about it?" "Because he showed it to me." She moves closer, and I see tears in her eyes. "The day before he died, he made me promise to help you find it." "Liar!" The word comes out as a snarl. "You're not his daughter. You're just part of whatever scheme." "You're right." Her voice cracks. "I'm not his daughter. I'm his witness." Before I can process this, headlights sweep across the windows. Car doors slam outside. "They followed me," Serena whispers. "I'm sorry, I tried to lose them, but—" "Who followed you?" "Your mother's lawyers. The ones who helped her." She grabs my arm. "We need to go. Now." "I'm not going anywhere with you." But even as I say it, I hear voices approaching. "Zariah, please." Her fingers dig into my arm. "I know where there's another exit. I know what your father was trying to protect, but we have to move." The voices are right outside now. I think of Dad's warning. Be careful who you trust. But something in Serena's fear feels genuine. Raw. "Fine." I shove the journal into my bag. "But if this is a trick—" "It's not." She pulls me toward the back of the room. "Your father saved my life. Now I'm trying to save yours." A pounding on the front door makes us both jump. I hear a key in the lock. "This way!" Serena yanks open a hidden panel in the wall, some kind of maintenance access. As we slip through, my phone buzzes. Terrence. "Almost there. Where exactly are you?" I type back quickly. "Had to run. I'm safe. Trust me." "But am I?" I'm following my replacement through a dark tunnel, running from my mother's lawyers, chasing my dead father's secrets. The panel clicks shut behind us, plunging us into darkness broken only by our flashlight beams. Ahead, Serena moves with the certainty of someone who's been here before. "Start talking," I tell her as we hurry through the passage. "Tell me everything. Not here." Her voice echoes softly. "But I will. Your father left something else for you. Something that will explain everything. Behind us, I hear the front door open. Voices call my name. We run faster, deeper into the dark, toward whatever truth Dad died protecting. The wind whips across the abandoned parking garage, carrying the scent of rain. Serena leads me to a concrete pillar marked with the same symbol from the storage room. My flashlight beam catches her hands shaking as she counts the panels above it. Here! She presses against one section, and something clicks. A small door swings open, revealing a wall safe. He installed it himself. Said no one would think to look in a place like this. My father, the straight-laced accountant, hiding safes in abandoned buildings. The world keeps tilting sideways. The combination? I ask. He said you'd know it? Serena steps back, wrapping her arms around herself. Something about your mother's garden? The memory hits like a punch to the gut. Mom's prized roses, the ones Dad helped me count every spring. 23 red, 16 white, 9 yellow. The same numbers for 15 years, until she tore them out 3 months ago to put in a meditation pond. My fingers move on autopilot. 23, 16, Ezio 9. The safe clicks open. Inside lies a thick manila envelope and a handwritten note in Dad's familiar script. For Zariah, the truth costs. Make sure you're ready to pay. We should hurry, Serena whispers. They'll figure out where we went eventually. I pull out the envelope, but something else catches my eye. A small velvet box. Inside is Dad's class ring, the one he never took off. My throat closes up. He wasn't sick, was he? The question comes out raw. Serena's silence is answer enough. The envelope contains documents, bank statements, emails, photographs. My hands tremble as I scan them under the flashlight. Numbers jump out at me, transactions that make no sense. Mom's signature appearing on papers dated when she was supposedly at her yoga retreat. And photos of her meeting with men in suits, looking nothing like the grieving widow she's playing now. She was embezzling, I breathe. From Dad's company? From everyone. Serena's voice is bitter. I was her assistant at the investment firm. That's how I found out. She was running a scheme across multiple companies, using your father's reputation as cover. And you what? Decided to blackmail her? No. Serena steps forward, then catches herself. I went to your father. He was already suspicious, but he needed proof. We worked together, gathering evidence. He was going to expose everything, but then a car engine echoes through the garage. We both freeze. He changed the will to protect you, Serena continues quickly. Your mother threatened to drag you into it if he went public. Said she'd make it look like you were involved. The documents blur in my shaking hands. So he cut me off, made it look like we were estranged. To give you deniability. He was going to tell you everything that Sunday, but... She swallows hard. Thursday night, he called me, saying he'd found something big. Friday morning, he was dead. Heart attack, I say numbly. That's what they told me. Your mother's very good at making things look natural. Footsteps now, echoing up the stairwell. Multiple sets. I shove everything back into the envelope, except the ring, which I slip onto my thumb. We need to... Zariah! Terrence's voice rings out, making us both jump. Are you up here? Relief floods through me, followed immediately by fear. You need to hide, I tell Serena. You trust him? With my life. The certainty in my voice surprises even me. She nods once and slips behind a concrete barrier, just as Terrence appears, looking worried and slightly out of breath. Jesus, Z, what are you doing up here? Michelle's freaking out. Your mom's lawyers are looking for you. I know why Dad died. The words tumble out. I know what Mom did. His expression shifts from concern to something harder. Show me. I hand him the envelope. Watch his face as he scans the contents under his phone light. See the moment understanding hits. We need to take this to the police, he says. Not yet. I think of Dad's warning about the cost of truth. Mom has connections. We need more proof, something she can't bury. We? His eyes search mine. I can't ask you to risk. Stop. He grips my shoulders. I'm with you, whatever you need, but no more running off alone, okay? Behind him, Serena emerges from her hiding spot. Terrence tenses, but I shake my head. She's with us, I tell him. She was helping Dad. Thunder rumbles overhead as Terrence absorbs this. Finally, he nods. Your place isn't safe. You can both crash at mine while we figure out next steps. There's one more thing we need to check first. Serena pulls out her phone, showing us an email. Your father's last message to me, about a hidden account in the Caymans. I stare at the screen, at the trail of breadcrumbs Dad left behind. Mom's going to notice we took the documents. Good. The word comes out like a promise. Let her worry. Rain begins to fall as we hurry toward Terrence's car, the envelope secure against my chest. Dad's ring feels warm against my skin, like a pulse, like a purpose. Let her worry. Let her wonder what else he left behind. The game is changing, and she doesn't even know we're playing yet. Terrence's apartment feels like a war room at 3 a.m. Papers cover every surface, laptop screens glow with financial records, and empty coffee cups litter the floor. I've been staring at the same email chain for an hour, trying to make sense of the transactions hidden in Dad's careful notes. Look at this. Serena points to her screen. Every Thursday for 6 months, exactly $50,000 transferred to an account in Grand Cayman, but the company records show different amounts. She was skimming. Terrence rubs his eyes. Creating fake vendor payments and pocketing the difference. Not just skimming. I hold up one of Dad's documents. She was falsifying entire client portfolios. People lost everything while she... My phone buzzes. Mom's name on the screen makes my stomach lurch. Answer it, Serena says. She'll get suspicious if you don't. I put the phone on speaker. Hello? Where are my documents, Soraya? Her voice is deadly calm. What documents? Don't play games. The storage unit was accessed last night. Files are missing. A pause. Did your new friend Serena help you break in? My eyes meet Serena's across the room. She's gone pale. I don't know what you're talking about, I say carefully. Really? Then why did building security catch you on camera? Both of you. She sighs. I'm trying to protect you, sweetheart. You have no idea what you're getting into. Like you protected Dad? The silence stretches so long, I think she's hung up. Then, come home. Bring everything back. We can discuss this like family. Family? I laugh, and it sounds like breaking glass. You threatened to frame me for your crimes. You drove Dad to... Your father made his choices. Her voice hardens. Just like you're making yours. But remember, I still have friends at the SEC. One phone call, and your name gets added to their investigation. The line goes dead. She's bluffing, Terrence says quickly. She can't really... Yes, she can. Serena slumps against the wall. I've seen her do it before. Why do you think no one else came forward? My hands won't stop shaking. I grab Dad's ring, twisting it around my thumb. We need to move faster. I turn back to the laptop. Dad's last email mentioned another account. Something about a safety deposit box? Soraya. Terrence's voice is gentle. Maybe we should take this to the authorities. Let them... No! The word comes out sharp. You heard her. She's got people everywhere. We need something concrete, something she can't twist. My phone buzzes again. A text from Michelle. Your mom just called me. She's worried about you. What's going on? She's starting to isolate you, Serena says, reading over my shoulder. Turn people against you. It's what she does. I think of Michelle, my oldest friend. The thought of losing her trust makes my chest ache. I need air. I grab my jacket, heading for Terrence's balcony. The city spreads out below, a maze of lights and shadows. Somewhere out there, Mom is making calls, pulling strings, trying to erase me just like she erased Dad. The balcony door slides open. Terrence steps out, wrapping a blanket around my shoulders. Talk to me, he says quietly. What if we're wrong? The fear I've been fighting finally breaks through. What if Dad was confused or... Hey! He turns me to face him. You saw the evidence. Trust your instincts. My instincts are screaming to run, to let it go before... I swallow hard. She's going to destroy everything I have left. Not everything. His hand finds mine, warm and steady. Some things can't be taken away. The moment stretches, charged with something new, something that makes my heart race for reasons that have nothing to do with fear. A crash from inside breaks the spell. We rush back in to find Serena standing over a shattered mug, staring at her phone. What's wrong? Your mother's lawyers just filed emergency papers. Her voice shakes. They're moving to seize your father's safety deposit box. First thing tomorrow morning. Where is it? I demand. Downtown First National. She looks up, eyes wide. We have 8 hours before they get it. Terrence grabs his keys. I know a back entrance to the bank. Security's lighter before opening. We can't break in, I protest. But my mind is already racing ahead. We don't have to. Serena pulls out another document. Your father added you as a co-signer last month. It's still valid. I stare at Dad's signature, feeling the weight of his ring. One last gift, one last chance. Okay. I grab my coat. Let's go get our proof before Mom makes it disappear too. Dawn is still hours away as we head into the night, racing against time, and the woman who thinks she's already won. The bank's early morning silence feels like a held breath. I grip Dad's safety deposit box key, watching the manager verify my ID with agonizing slowness. Beside me, Terrence pretends to read a pamphlet about mortgage rates. Serena waits in the car, keeping watch. Everything seems in order, Miss Fletcher. The manager's smile is professional, empty. Though I should mention, we received an unusual call about this box. My heart stutters. Oh? From your mother. She expressed concerns about your emotional state, given your recent loss. Of course she did. I force my face to stay neutral, channeling Mom's own practiced calm. I appreciate her concern, but as you can see, I'm a legal co-signer. He hesitates, then nods. Follow me, please. The vault door opens with a heavy clang. As we follow him down the narrow aisle of boxes, my phone vibrates. Michelle. I just talked to your mom. Her text reads. She's really worried. Says you're having some kind of breakdown. Please call me. I switch the phone off, hands shaking. The manager stops at our box, inserting his key. Mine slides in beside it, and the lock turns with a final feeling click. I'll give you some privacy, he says, stepping away. The metal box feels too light as I lift it. Inside lies a single USB drive and an envelope addressed to me in Dad's handwriting. No turning back now. Zariah! Terrence's voice is urgent. We need to go. Through the vault's glass wall, I see Serena rushing into the bank lobby. Behind her, 2 familiar figures in suits, Mom's lawyers. Back exit, Terrence whispers. Now! We slip out through the employee entrance, just as I hear the manager's voice. Ms. Perry, your mother's here? The morning air hits like a slap. We run for Terrence's car, parked in the alley. Serena's already inside, engine running. How did they know? I gasp as we peel away from the curb. Someone must have tipped them off. Serena's knuckles are white on the steering wheel. The bank manager maybe, or Michelle. The realization hits like ice water. She told Mom where I was going. She thinks she's helping. My oldest friend turned into a weapon against me. The betrayal burns worse than I expected. We need somewhere safe to check what's on that drive. Terrence glances in the rearview mirror. My place might be watched now. I know somewhere. Serena takes a sharp turn. But you're not going to like it. 20 minutes later, we pull up to a motel that's seen better decades. A man leans against the wall outside, smoking. When he sees Serena, he straightens up. That's Marcus, she says quietly. He worked in accounting with your dad. He's been helping me gather evidence. I study him through the windshield. Mid-50s, tired eyes, cheap suit. Can we trust him? Your father did. She meets my gaze. He's the one who first noticed the missing money. Your mother tried to buy his silence, but Miguel was my friend, Marcus says, opening my door. His voice is rough with emotion. What she did to him, what she's still doing, it needs to stop. Inside his room, Marcus pulls out a laptop while I insert the USB drive. Documents flood the screen, transaction records, emails, photos, but one video file catches my eye. Watch first. Dad's face fills the screen, recorded in his study. He looks exhausted, afraid. Zariah, if you're seeing this, I'm already gone. What I'm about to tell you. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I tried to protect you, but I only made things worse. Tears blur my vision as he explains everything. How he discovered Mom's scheme, how deep the corruption went, how many lives she'd destroyed, how she threatened to implicate me if he went public. But I found something, he continues. Proof she can't hide from. It's all here, including... The video cuts off suddenly. That was the night before he died, Marcus says softly. He called me right after recording this, said he needed to move everything to the safety deposit box. Said your mother was acting strange. My phone buzzes again, an unknown number this time. The text makes my blood freeze. Such a shame about Michelle's new job offer. Would be terrible if something derailed it. Bring back what you took. 1 hour, you know where. She's going after Michelle's career now. My voice sounds distant, strange. She'll destroy everyone I care about, one by one. Then we end this. Terrence grips my shoulder. Today, I look around at these people. Serena with her haunted eyes, Marcus with his quiet grief, Terrence with his unwavering support, all brought together by Mom's poison, by Dad's final acts of resistance. Yes, I say, Dad's ring heavy on my thumb. Today, I text back one word. Where? The response comes immediately. The house. Come alone. Fine. She wants to face me in the home she's turned into a battlefield? Perfect. Time to show her exactly what kind of daughter she raised. The front door still opens with my old key. Inside, the house smells wrong, like artificial flowers trying to cover something rotten. Late afternoon sun streams through the windows, casting long shadows across the floor where Dad's favorite rug used to be. Mom stands in the living room, dressed for battle in crisp black and pearls. Serena's desk is conspicuously empty, all traces of her presence already erased. I knew you'd come alone. Mom's smile is razor thin. You always were your father's daughter. So predictably noble. Where are your lawyers? I ask, gripping my bag with the USB drive inside. On their way, along with some SEC investigators who are very interested in your recent activities. She gestures to the couch. Sit. Let's talk about how we can fix this mess you've made. I remain standing. Like you fixed things with Dad? Something flickers in her eyes. Your father made his choice. You mean when he chose to expose your fraud, or when he chose to protect me from it? Protect you? She laughs, the sound like breaking glass. He abandoned you, left you with nothing. He left me everything I needed. I pull out my phone, press play on the recording app. Her words echo back. Your father made his choice. She goes very still. You've been recording? Since I walked in, just like Dad did that last night, right before you slipped something into his evening scotch. The color drains from her face. You can't prove that. The toxicology report can. The one Marcus helped me get this morning. The real one, not the sanitized version you paid for. My voice shakes, but my hands are steady. Did you watch him die, Mom? Did you sit there while his heart gave out? You have no idea what it takes to build something. Her mask cracks, showing something ugly beneath. To protect it, he would have destroyed everything. He was trying to save people, the families you stole from, the lives you ruined. I built this life. She steps forward, pearls gleaming like teeth. Everything we had, the house, your education, all of it, came from my work, my sacrifices. Your lies. The words taste like acid. Your murders. Prove it. Her smile returns, cold and confident. You really think anyone will believe you over me? The grieving widow against the unstable daughter? The front door opens. Heavy footsteps approach. Actually, Terrence's voice rings out, they'll believe all of us. Mom turns. Terrence enters, followed by Serena, Marcus, and 2 people in FBI windbreakers. Agent Torres? One introduces herself, holding up a badge. We've been building a case against your investment firm for months. But Mr. Marcus's evidence about Miguel Fletcher's death? That's new. You really should sweep for bugs more often, Serena says quietly. The SEC might be in your pocket, but the FBI? They've been listening to every word. Mom's composure shatters. She lunges for my bag, but I'm faster. Years of martial arts classes she insisted on finally paying off. We grapple, her nails raking my arm. Something cracks against my jaw, and I taste blood. Karen Perry, Agent Torres barks. Step away from your daughter. But Mom's fingers find my throat, squeezing. In her eyes, I see something I never understood before. She'd rather kill me than lose control. I drive my knee up, breaking her grip. She staggers back, colliding with Dad's antique clock. It topples, shattering against the hardwood. The agents move in, but Mom's already reaching into her jacket. Metal glints. A small pistol. Mom, don't! The gunshot is deafening, but it's Mom who crumples, the bullet hitting her shoulder. Behind her, Terrence stands with his off-duty weapon raised, face grim. You okay? He asks me as the agents secure Mom. I nod, unable to speak, watching them read her rights. She looks smaller somehow, clutching her bleeding shoulder, all her careful polish stripped away. He never stopped loving you, I tell her as they lead her past. Even at the end. That's why it was so easy for you to kill him. She stops, turns. For a moment, I see something like regret in her eyes. Then it's gone, replaced by the cold emptiness I never recognized as a child. Love is weakness, she says. I taught you better than that. No. I touch Dad's ring, feel its steady weight. You taught me exactly what not to become. They take her away, leaving me in the wreckage of the home that was never really mine. Terrence's hand finds my shoulder. Serena and Marcus hover nearby, witnesses to the end of something that broke long before today. Outside, red and blue lights paint the gathering darkness. Neighbors peer from behind curtains, watching Mom's carefully constructed world collapse. I step out onto the porch where Dad used to read, where he taught me about stars and silence and strength. The evening air tastes like freedom and grief and possibility. Behind me, the house holds only ghosts now. Ahead lies something new, something entirely my own. I'm ready to build it. Dawn creeps through the study windows as I pack the last of Dad's books. The house feels different now. Not lighter exactly, but cleaner somehow, like after a storm. Each box I seal contains another piece of the life I thought I knew, transformed into something new. The doorbell rings. Michelle stands on the porch, shifting nervously. I brought coffee, she says, holding up a familiar cardboard tray. And I owe you about 1,000 apologies. I take one of the cups, remembering countless mornings sharing secrets over this same ritual. You didn't know. I should have. Her voice cracks. I've known you since we were 6, known your mom even longer. How did I miss what she really was? She fooled everyone. I lead her into the study, where morning light catches dust motes dancing above half-packed boxes. Even Dad, until the end. Michelle picks up a framed photo. All of us at my college graduation. I saw the news about the other families she stole from. The restitution hearings start next week? I nod. Serena and Marcus are testifying. We found enough evidence to help most of the victims recover their losses. And you? She meets my eyes. What happens to you now? Before I can answer, footsteps creak overhead. Terrence appears in the doorway, sleeves rolled up, ready for another day of packing. Michelle's eyebrows rise. So that's new? Not exactly. I feel my cheeks warm. He's been here all along. I just wasn't ready to see it. A knock at the front door interrupts whatever Michelle's about to say. Harrison, the family lawyer, enters carrying a thick envelope. The final paperwork, he says, looking uncomfortable. And this was in your mother's personal safe. She instructed me to deliver it if, well, he hands me a smaller envelope. Inside is a single key and a note in Mom's precise handwriting. For when you're ready to understand. What does that mean? Michelle asks. It means she's still playing games. I move to throw the key away, but something stops me. Or maybe... The key's shape is familiar, like the one Dad left in his journal, leading to truth. The lake house, I breathe. Dad's old writing retreat. She always hated that place. Want company? Terrence asks quietly. I shake my head. This one I need to do alone. The drive north feels shorter than I remember. The lake house sits unchanged, a small cabin overlooking steel gray water. The key turns smoothly in the lock. Inside, everything is exactly as Dad left it. His reading chair, his half-finished crossword. But on the desk lies something new. A leather journal identical to his. Mom's handwriting fills the pages. Not the controlled script I know, but jagged, desperate words. Miguel knows. He found the transfers. Thinks we can fix this legally, make it right. Doesn't understand what they'll do to us if the truth comes out. To Zariah. I built this life from nothing, carved it from the world that tried to break me. I won't let them take it, not even him. Better a clean end than a slow destruction. Better she hate me than watch them destroy her too. My daughter, my mirror. Stronger than I ever was. The words blur as tears fall. Not forgiveness, never that. But understanding maybe. The smallest shard of truth behind her armor of lies. My phone buzzes. A text from Serena. Found something else in the records. When you're ready. Always more secrets. Always more truth waiting to be uncovered. But right now, the lake stretches out before me, sunlight dancing on its surface. I think of Dad in his reading chair, finding peace in this simple place. Of Mom's hidden words, revealing the broken pieces that made her who she was. Of the family I'm building now. Terrence's steady strength, Michelle's renewed loyalty, Serena's fierce determination, Marcus's quiet wisdom. I slip Dad's ring off my thumb and place it on the desk beside Mom's journal. Some inheritances we carry forward, others we leave behind. Outside, wind ripples across the water. I stand on the deck where Dad taught me constellations, where Mom refused to vacation, where my own story stretches out before me, unwritten, unmarked, entirely mine. The future tastes like possibility, like freedom, like truth.
The name tag in my hands reads, Juliet Lucas, sister of the bride, the failure. I stare at those last two words written in my mother's perfect cursive, probably meant as a joke. Probably. The wedding reception swirls around me in shades of champagne and ivory, a perfect Pinterest board come to life. My sister Camilla's doing, of course. She's currently floating through the crowd in her designer gown, collecting compliments like butterflies in a net. I down my second glass of wine and try to remember why I agreed to be part of this circus. Jules! Camilla's voice cuts through the ambient chatter. Come meet Leo's work friends. I paste on my best supportive sister smile and wade through the sea of pastels and pearls. More introductions. More explaining that yes, I'm an artist, and no, I don't have a real job. More sympathetic nods when they learn I teach art to elementary school kids to pay rent. Leonardo, my new brother-in-law, wraps his arm around Camilla's waist. He's objectively handsome in that investment banker way, all sharp angles and whiter than white teeth. Jules here is our family's free spirit, he says, and everyone laughs like it's the cleverest thing they've heard all day. I excuse myself to the bathroom, needing a moment to breathe. The corridor leading to the restrooms is blessedly quiet, the music from the reception hall now just a dull thrum. That's when I spot Leonardo's phone on the decorative table outside the men's room, screen lighting up with incoming messages. I shouldn't look. I really shouldn't. But something about the preview text makes my stomach clench. I glance around, empty hallway, and pick up the phone. The messages are from someone named RW. Miss you already. Last night was incredible. Can't wait until your business trip next week. Remember to delete these messages. My hands start shaking. The timestamp shows these were sent during the ceremony, during my sister's wedding ceremony. More messages pop up, each one worse than the last. Photos I wish I could unsee. plans for future meetups. This isn't a one-time thing, this is an ongoing affair. The bathroom door creaks. I quickly place the phone back, hands trembling so badly I nearly drop it. Leonardo emerges, adjusting his bow tie in the hallway mirror. "Oh, hey, Jules," he says, reaching for his phone. "Everything okay? You look pale." I force myself to meet his eyes. They're completely calm, like he hasn't just destroyed my sister's life before it really began. "Everything's fine," I lie, my voice steady despite the rage building in my chest. "Just needed some air." He nods, already scrolling through his phone. I watch his face change for a split second. He's seen the messages, but he just pockets the device and heads back toward the reception, whistling. The bastard is whistling. I lean against the wall, my mind racing. In the reception hall, I can hear Camilla's laugh, that pure, joyful sound I've known since we were kids. The sound that's about to shatter when she learns the truth, because she has to learn the truth, doesn't she? My mother's voice echoes in my head. "Don't make a scene, Juliet. For once in your life, don't be difficult." That's what she'll say if I speak up. That's what they all say whenever I don't play along with their perfect family narrative. But this isn't about me being difficult. This is about protecting my sister from a man who couldn't even wait until after the wedding to betray her. I pull out my phone and text Serena, my best friend. "Need you. Emergency. Reception. Bathroom. Now." While I wait, I stare at my reflection in the ornate mirror. The name tag is still stuck to my bridesmaid dress, mocking me. I rip it off, crumpling the failure into a tight ball. The bathroom door opens and Serena slips in. One look at my face and she knows something's wrong. "What happened?" I open my mouth to tell her, but the words stick in my throat, because saying it out loud makes it real. Because once I tell her, I can't pretend this isn't happening, because whatever I do next will change everything. "Jules?" Serena touches my arm. "You're scaring me." I take a deep breath and meet her eyes in the mirror. "I just found out Leonardo is cheating on my sister. Has been for a while. And I have to decide right now if I'm going to blow up this entire wedding or let Camilla live in blissful ignorance." Serena's sharp intake of breath echoes off the bathroom tiles. "Oh God, what are you going to do?" I straighten my spine, something hardening in my chest. "I'm going to do what I do best," I say, reaching for the door handle. "I'm going to be difficult." Serena grabs my arm before I can storm back into the reception. "Jules, wait. You need a plan. You can't just watch me." I shake free, but she blocks the door. "5 minutes," she pleads. "Give me 5 minutes to think this through with you. Remember what happened at Thanksgiving?" That stops me. Last time I acted on impulse at a family gathering, I'd ended up sleeping in my car for a week. But this is different. This isn't about me. "Fine. 5 minutes." We huddle in the corner of the bathroom, heads together like we're back in high school plotting revenge on mean girls. Except now the mean girl is my brother-in-law, and the stakes are my sister's life. "You need to tell Camilla first," Serena says. "Privately, before you do anything public." She's right. Of course she's right. I check my makeup in the mirror, wiping away a smudge of mascara. I'll pull her aside. There's that little garden terrace off the main hall. But when I find Camilla, she's surrounded by a cluster of college friends all squealing over her ring. I hover at the edge of their circle, trying to catch her eye. When she finally notices me, her smile dims slightly. "Jules, what's wrong? Can we talk? Privately?" She follows me to the terrace. The setting sun paints everything in soft gold, making this moment feel surreal. Moths flutter around the string lights, and I think about how fragile happiness is, how easily it can be crushed. "Cam, I need to tell you something about Leonardo." She crosses her arms. "If this is about his job again." "It's not. I saw messages on his phone. He's cheating on you." The words hang in the air between us. Camilla's face doesn't change, but her fingers tighten on her arms. "What exactly did you see?" I tell her everything, the texts, the photos, the plans for next week. With each detail, I watch her expression harden. "Show me," she says finally. "I can't. They're on his phone." So you just happened to see his private messages? My stomach drops. Cam, no, Jules. I know you've never liked Leo. I know you think I'm making a mistake, but making up lies on my wedding day? That's low even for you. The familiar acid of being dismissed burns my throat. I'm not lying. Really? Because it sounds exactly like something you'd do to prove you're right about him. She takes a step back. God, I can't believe you'd try to ruin this for me. Camilla, please. Just stop. Her voice cracks. For once in your life, just stop trying to fix everything. I'm happy. Why can't you let me be happy? She turns to go back inside, but I grab her wrist. Wait, just wait here. 2 minutes. I sprint through the reception hall, ignoring my mother's hissed, Juliet, as I pass. Leonardo's still by the bar with his best man, Rick. Their heads are bent together, laughing about something. Leo, I say sweetly, can I borrow your phone? My battery died, and I need to call my ride. He hesitates for a fraction of a second. Sure, Jules. He pulls it out, but before handing it over, his thumb moves quickly across the screen. Deleting messages. The bastard is deleting messages right in front of me. He hands me the phone with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. I take it and walk away slowly, my mind racing. There has to be something left. Some proof. That's when I hear it. Rick's voice carrying just far enough. Careful, man. She's sharper than she looks. I freeze, then casually drift closer to their conversation, pretending to fiddle with the phone. It's handled, Leonardo mutters. Unlike you handling Roslyn last month. Jesus, Rick, you almost blew everything. Hey, I covered for you with that whole Miami story, didn't I? Even convinced Camilla you were at that conference when you were actually… Shut up, Leonardo hisses. Not here. My hands shake as I open his photo gallery. Most recent images deleted, messages cleared. But there, in his recently deleted folder, he forgot about that. 3 photos remain, including one of him kissing a woman who definitely isn't my sister. I quickly send the photos to my own phone, then delete the evidence of the transfer. Walking back to the bar, I return his phone with a smile that matches his. All teeth, no warmth. On the terrace, Camilla's still waiting, arms wrapped around herself. Without a word, I hold up my phone, showing her the proof she demanded. She stares at the photos for a long time. Then she looks up at me and I see something break behind her eyes. What do we do now? She whispers. I take her hand. Now? Now we make him pay. The microphone feels heavy in my hand as I stand, my champagne glass tinkling against the metal. Around me, 200 faces turn expectantly, waiting for what they assume will be another saccharine toast to the happy couple. Camilla sits rigid beside Leonardo, her smile fixed in place. We spent 20 minutes in that garden terrace plotting this moment. Her words echo in my head. Make it hurt. I clear my throat. When I was 12, Camilla broke her arm falling from our treehouse. I watched her hit the ground, and I'll never forget the sound she made, this tiny broken gasp. I'm hearing that same sound today. The room stills. Leonardo's champagne glass freezes halfway to his lips. You see, my sister deserves a love story. Instead, she got a cautionary tale. I turn to face Leonardo directly. Would you like to tell everyone about Roslyn? Or should I? The colour drains from his face. In the sudden silence, someone's fork clatters against a plate. Jules! My mother's warning voice carries across the room. Sit down. No, Mom, not this time. My voice shakes, but I force myself to continue. My beautiful, brilliant sister just married a man who couldn't even wait until after the ceremony to text his girlfriend. Yes, girlfriend. Present tense. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Leonardo stands, his chair scraping against the floor. You're drunk, Juliet, and making a fool of yourself. Am I? I pull out my phone. Should we discuss the photos you forgot to permanently delete? Or maybe the Miami trip that wasn't actually a conference? Rick, the best man, shifts uncomfortably in his seat. Our eyes meet, and something flickers across his face. Guilt, fear. Rick knows what I'm talking about, don't you? I watch him flinch. Want to tell everyone what really happened in Miami? That's enough! Leonardo slams his hand on the table. Crystal glasses jump, sending champagne splashing across the pristine tablecloth. But I'm not done. I have proof. Everything. The messages, the photos, the hotel receipts. She's lying, Leonardo cuts in smoothly, addressing the stunned crowd. Juliet has always been unstable, jealous of her sister's success. This is just another cry for attention. The familiar dismissal stings, but I stand my ground. Really? Then you won't mind if I show everyone? Show them what? He smirks and my blood runs cold. I check my phone. The photos are gone. All of them. Looking for these? Rick holds up his phone and I realise with horror what happened. While I was speaking, he must have remotely deleted them through the cloud sharing I'd forgotten to disable. The room starts to spin. I've lost my proof, lost my credibility, lost everything. Then Camilla stands. I saw them, she says quietly. The photos, the messages. I saw everything. Leonardo's head whips toward her. Baby! Don't! Her voice could freeze hell. Don't you dare! She turns to face our gathered family and friends, her wedding dress catching the light like broken glass. My sister is telling the truth, every word. The silence shatters. Voices erupt in overlapping waves of shock and outrage. My mother's hands cover her face. Leonardo's parents huddle together, whispering frantically. I trusted you, Camilla continues, each word precise and cutting. I defended you. I chose you over everyone who tried to warn me, including my sister. She looks at me then, tears in her eyes. I'm so sorry, Jules. I should have listened. Leonardo grabs her arm. We can talk about this privately. Get your hands off my sister. The words tear from my throat before I can stop them. What happens next seems to unfold in slow motion. Rick stands, his face twisted with what looks like genuine remorse. I can't do this anymore. He pulls out his phone again, but this time he's not deleting evidence. He's sharing it. I kept copies, he says, not meeting Leonardo's murderous glare. Of everything, because I knew someday I'd have to make this right. Phones around the room start pinging with incoming messages. Leonardo lunges for Rick, but two of Camilla's cousins grab him before he can reach the best man. In the chaos that follows, I find myself standing still, watching my sister's wedding implode around me. I should feel triumphant, I should feel vindicated. Instead, I feel my mother's arms wrap around me from behind, the first time she's hugged me in years. My brave girl, she whispers against my hair. My brave, difficult, wonderful girl. And suddenly I'm 12 again, watching my sister fall, knowing the sound she's about to make. Only this time, I caught her before she hit the ground. The aftermath hits like a tsunami. Security escorts Leonardo out while guests mill around in shocked clusters, phones raised to capture every moment. I stand in the eye of the storm, watching my sister's wedding reception transform into a viral scandal in real time. You've really done it this time. My mother's earlier warmth has evaporated. She's back to her familiar disappointed stance, arms crossed, lips pressed into a thin line. Do you have any idea how much this wedding cost? Really, Mom? That's what you're worried about? Someone has to think practically. She gestures at the chaos around us. The venue, the catering, the gifts. The gifts can go back, Camilla interrupts, appearing beside me. She's changed out of her wedding dress into a simple black sheath. Just like the ring. My mother deflates slightly. Darling, maybe we should all take some time to... To what? Camilla's voice cracks. To pretend this didn't happen? To give him another chance? She laughs, but it sounds more like breaking glass. That's what you told Jules to do, isn't it? When her ex stole her artwork and sold it as his own? Take some time. Think it through. Don't be hasty. I stare at my sister. I'd never told her about that. I heard you and Dad talking about it, she explains, catching my look. I heard you tell Jules to let it go, to not make waves, and I said nothing. Her eyes fill with tears. I always said nothing. The weight of unspoken years hangs between us. All those times I'd fought my battles alone, thinking Camilla was just another witness to my difficult nature. Ladies, Rick approaches cautiously, phone in hand. We have a situation. He shows us Leonardo's latest Instagram post, a perfectly curated photo of him looking wounded but dignified, captioned with a paragraph about false accusations and family jealousy. The comments are already flooding in, taking sides. He's trying to control the narrative, Rick explains, and he's good at it, really good. Of course he is, I mutter. He's been managing his image since day one. Camilla grabs Rick's phone, scrolling through the comments. Her hands shake. People are believing him. They're calling Jules a bitter spinster and me a gullible fool. Honey, my mother starts, maybe we should take this down a notch. Think about your career. My career? Camilla's laugh turns hysterical. I'm an environmental lawyer, Mom. I literally fight corporate liars for a living, and I couldn't even spot one sleeping in my bed. She throws Rick's phone across the room. It hits the wall with a satisfying crack. I'll get you a new one, she tells Rick weakly. Don't worry about it. He runs a hand through his hair. I owe you both way more than a phone. I should have spoken up months ago. Why didn't you? I ask. He won't meet my eyes. Leonardo, he knows things. About everyone. It's how he operates. Find the weakness, exploit it, keep people in line. What does he have on you? Rick's silence speaks volumes. It doesn't matter, Camilla says suddenly. Whatever he has, whatever he says, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm done being afraid of the truth. She pulls out her own phone and starts typing furiously. Before anyone can stop her, she's posted a response to Leonardo's carefully crafted narrative. A raw, unfiltered account of everything, including screenshots Rick provided of Leonardo's other affairs. Camilla! Our mother looks horrified. Take that down immediately. No. My sister's voice is steel. I'm done taking things down, keeping things quiet, making things easier for everyone else. Jules was right all along. Some things need to be difficult. My phone buzzes. Then again. And again. Notifications pour in as Camilla's post goes viral, spreading across platforms like wildfire. Oh, God, my mother moans. The press will be all over this. Both your firms will. Good, Camilla and I say simultaneously. We look at each other and something shifts between us. Years of careful distance crumbling in an instant. She reaches for my hand. I need your help, Jules. Not just with Leonardo, but with everything after. I need my sister back. I never left, I whisper. I know. I was the one who stayed away. Trying to be perfect, trying to not rock the boat. She squeezes my hand. Teach me how to make waves. Behind us, our mother is still talking about damage control, about family reputation, about taking things offline. But for the first time in years, neither of us is listening. First lesson, I tell Camilla, a smile spreading across my face. The boat deserves to be rocked. She grins back, fierce and broken and beautiful. Then let's cause a storm. 3 days after the wedding explosion, I wake to find my art studio's front window shattered. Glass crunches under my boots as I step inside, heart pounding. The damage isn't random. My latest paintings, the series I've been working on for months, are slashed to ribbons. I touch one canvas, fingers trembling. The cuts are precise, surgical, professional. My phone rings. Camilla. Turn on the news, she says without preamble. Now. I pull up the local news site on my phone. Leonardo's smiling face fills the screen as he stands outside his law firm, looking every bit the wronged party. The headline makes my stomach turn. Prominent attorney speaks out about wedding scandal. Claims systematic harassment. He's saying we're orchestrating a smear campaign, Camilla's voice shakes. That we're doctoring evidence, manipulating Rick, trying to destroy his reputation out of family jealousy. I look around my destroyed studio. Yeah, I'm getting that message loud and clear. What do you mean? Before I can answer, the bell above my door chimes. I spin around to find Roslyn, Leonardo's not-so-secret girlfriend, standing among the broken glass. I'll call you back, I tell Camilla, ending the call despite her protests. Roslyn surveys the destruction, her face unreadable. She's exactly as beautiful as her photos suggested, but there's something hard in her eyes that the camera missed. Let me guess, I say. Leonardo sent you to threaten me? She laughs, but there's no humor in it. Leonardo doesn't send me anywhere. That's kind of the problem. She perches on my paint-splattered work table, incongruous in her designer outfit. You know what's funny? I actually came to thank you. Thank me for blowing everything up. I've been trying to end things with Leo for months, but he always had a way of making that difficult. The way she says difficult makes my skin crawl. What did he do? What didn't he do? She pulls out her phone, showing me texts, emails, photos, a digital paper trail of manipulation and threats. Every time I tried to leave, he'd remind me how easily he could ruin me. My job, my reputation, everything. Why are you showing me this? Because you need to understand what you're dealing with. That stunt at the wedding, the viral posts, that's just the beginning. Leo doesn't lose. Ever. As if on cue, my phone buzzes with a text from Rick. Check your email. Emergency. I open my inbox to find a cease and desist letter from Leonardo's firm, threatening legal action for defamation. But it's the next email that makes my blood run cold. A message from the elementary school where I teach art, requesting an immediate meeting about my recent public behavior. He's going after your job, Roslyn says softly. Just like he went after your studio. Just like he'll go after everything else until you and your sister back down. We won't. Then be smarter than I was. She slides off the table. Don't fight him in the open. He's got too much practice looking like the good guy. So what, we just let him win? No. Her smile turns sharp. We find his weakness. The one thing he can't spin or charm his way out of. I think about Rick's words at the wedding. Leonardo knows things. About everyone. The evidence Rick shared, I say slowly. That wasn't everything, was it? Not even close. Roslyn pulls a small USB drive from her purse. Leo likes to keep receipts. Insurance, he calls it. Against clients, colleagues, friends, anyone who might someday become a problem. She places the drive on my table. 3 years of his private files. Emails, photos, recordings, everything he never wanted found. Why give this to me? Because your sister was collateral damage. I never meant... She stops, composes herself. Just make it count, okay? She turns to leave, but pauses at the door. One more thing. When you use this, and you will, be prepared. Some of what's on there, it's going to hurt people you care about. Are you ready for that? I look around my destroyed studio, at the shredded canvases that represented months of work. Think about the emails threatening my job, my sister's reputation, our future. Yes, I say. And I mean it. Roslyn nods. Good. Because Leo's right about one thing. You're not just fighting him anymore. You're fighting an entire system that protects men like him. And that system. She gestures at my ruined art. It fights back. After she leaves, I stand in the wreckage of my studio holding the USB drive that could change everything. My phone buzzes again. Camilla, probably worried. But before I call her back, I need to decide. How far am I willing to go? And more importantly, who am I willing to take down with me? The contents of the USB drive spill across my laptop screen like toxic waste. Emails, photos, voice recordings, each file more damning than the last. My hands shake as I scroll through Leonardo's carefully catalogued collection of other people's secrets. We can't use this, Camilla says, pacing my living room. These aren't just Leonardo's victims. They're innocent people he's blackmailing. We'd be no better than him. She's right. The drive contains enough dirt to bury Leonardo 10 times over, but using it would mean destroying dozens of other lives. Colleagues who made mistakes, clients who trusted him, even judges who'd been compromised. My phone buzzes. Another email from the school board, third one today. The words professional conduct review and termination jump out at me. They're suspending me, I tell Camilla. Pending investigation into my pattern of disruptive behavior. She stops pacing. He can't do that. They can't fire you for exposing the truth. Watch me lose my job anyway. I close my laptop, unable to look at any more evidence of Leonardo's corruption. You know what the worst part is? The kids' art show is next week. I promised them I'd be there. Camilla's face hardens. Okay, screw this. We're using the files. What happened to we'd be no better than him? That was before he went after your kids' art show. She grabs my laptop. We just need to be selective. Find something that only hurts him. But as we dig deeper into the files, a pattern emerges. Leonardo hasn't just been collecting dirt, he's been weaving a web. Every piece of information connects to something else, someone else. Using any of it would trigger a cascade of consequences we couldn't control. Wait, Camilla says suddenly. Go back to that email thread. I scroll back to a conversation between Leonardo and someone named Marcus. The subject line reads, Riverside Development Deal. That's the project I've been investigating, Camilla explains, eyes scanning the text. A luxury development that mysteriously got approved despite environmental violations. I could never prove. Her voice trails off as she reads further. Oh my God. What? Leonardo knew. He knew the land was contaminated. He helped cover up soil test results that showed dangerous levels of toxins. She points to an attachment. Look, here's the original report they buried. Can you use this? This isn't just evidence of corruption, it's proof of criminal negligence. People could die if they build on that land. She straightens up. I need to take this to the EPA immediately. Cam, wait. I grab her arm. Think about what happens next. Leonardo will know where this came from. He'll release everything else in retaliation. Let him. Her voice is steel. Some things matter more than reputation. Before she can leave, my phone rings. Unknown number. Hello? Ms. Lucas, a woman's voice, professional but warm. This is Patricia from Channel 7 News. We're doing a story on Leonardo Perkins and the allegations of systematic corruption in his firm. Would you be willing to comment? I meet Camilla's eyes. She nods. Actually, I say, I think you're going to want to hear what my sister has to say. She's an environmental lawyer who's discovered something interesting about the Riverside Development Project. After we hang up, Camilla looks at me. You know what this means, right? Once I go public with this evidence, there's no going back for either of us. I know. The school board. Some things matter more than a job. She hugs me fiercely. I'll protect you this time, I promise. Just go save the world, counselor. I'll handle Leonardo's tantrum. As if summoned by his name, my phone buzzes with a text from Rick. Leo knows about the USB drive. He's on his way to your place. Don't let him in. Too late. A sharp knock echoes through my apartment. Juliet? Leonardo's voice smooth as ever. We need to talk. Camilla clutches the laptop to her chest. I point to my bedroom. There's a fire escape she can use to leave unseen. She shakes her head, but I push her toward it. Go, I whisper. Get that evidence somewhere safe. I'll keep him busy. Another knock, harder this time. I know you're in there, Jules. Don't make this difficult. I wait until I hear Camilla's quiet footsteps on the fire escape before opening the door. Leonardo stands there in his perfect suit, wearing his perfect smile. But his eyes are wild. Where is it? He demands, pushing past me into the apartment. I cross my arms, planting myself between him and my bedroom door. Where's what? Don't play games. The drive. Rosalind's drive. He steps closer, looming over me. Give it to me now, and maybe we can still fix this mess you've made. I smile, channeling every ounce of difficult, defiant energy I possess. You want to talk about messes, Leonardo? Let's talk about Riverside. The colour drains from his face, and I know we've won. Leonardo's composure cracks like thin ice. You have no idea what you're doing, he snarls, advancing on me. That development deal involves people you don't want to cross. I stand my ground, even as my heart hammers. You mean people like you? Men who think they can bury their crimes in paperwork and threats? He lunges for my laptop on the coffee table. I grab it first, clutching it to my chest. Give me the drive, Juliet. His voice drops dangerously low. Last chance. Or what? You'll destroy my career? Too late. Ruin my reputation? Already done. What's left, Leo? His smile turns cruel. Your mother's medical license review is next week, isn't it? Be a shame if the board received evidence of prescription irregularities. The air leaves my lungs. You wouldn't. Try me. He pulls out his phone. One call. That's all it takes to end her career. Your choice. My fingers tighten on the laptop. Mom and I have our issues, but this would destroy her. Everything she's worked for gone in an instant. Leonardo sees my hesitation. Smart girl. Now the door bursts open. Camilla strides in, followed by Rick and 2 people in FBI windbreakers. Actually, Camilla says, I think they'd like the drive. Leonardo spins around. What is this? This, one agent steps forward, is what happens when you threaten a federal witness. She turns to me. Ms. Lucas, are you all right? I nod, still clutching the laptop. You recorded that? Leonardo's face contorts. You little... Choose your next words carefully, Rick interrupts, holding up his phone. Still streaming. The second agent pulls out handcuffs. Leonardo Perkins, you're under arrest for witness tampering, conspiracy to commit fraud, and environmental violations under the Clean Water Act. You can't prove anything, Leonardo spits. No? Camilla pulls out her phone, plays a video. Leonardo's own voice fills the room, discussing the contaminated soil reports. Funny thing about evidence, it works better when you share it with the right people instead of using it for blackmail. As the agents read him his rights, Leonardo locks eyes with me. You think this is over? Everything on that drive goes public. Everyone gets burned. Already handled, Rick says. While Juliet kept you busy, we've been working with the FBI's cybercrime unit. The evidence of actual crimes will be used in prosecution. The personal information? Sealed by federal order. You planned this, Leonardo whispers. All of you. No. I step closer. We just learned from you. Find the weakness, exploit it, keep people in line. Isn't that how it works? The agents start leading him away, but I'm not done. You know what your weakness was, Leo. You thought everyone was like you, that we'd all choose self-preservation over doing what's right. But some of us. I glance at Camilla. At Rick. Some of us choose differently. After the agents leave with Leonardo, Camilla hugs me so hard it hurts. I'm sorry I left you alone with him. You didn't. I hug her back. You were exactly where you needed to be. Rick clears his throat. There's something else you should see. He holds up his phone, showing a social media feed exploding with support. Comments flood in from Leonardo's other victims, sharing their stories. The hashtag #DarkDifficultWomen is trending. Turns out, Rick says, you weren't the only ones he tried to silence. Once people saw you stand up to him, my phone buzzes. An email from the school board. I brace myself, but instead of more threats, it's an apology. They're launching an investigation into Leonardo's interference and want me back for the art show. We did it, I breathe. You did it, Camilla corrects. You stood up first, showed me how to be brave. Showed all of us, Rick adds. I think about the name tag from the wedding, the failure, written in my mother's perfect script. About all the times I was told to be quieter, smaller, less difficult. Should we call Mom? Camilla asks softly. Tell her she's safe. I nod, reaching for my phone, but pause. Hey, Cam, remember when we were kids and you fell from that treehouse? Of course. You never told anyone, but I know why you fell. You were trying to catch me, stop me from jumping to the next tree. She smiles. You always did take the scary jumps. Yeah, well, I squeeze her hand. Thanks for jumping with me this time. Outside, camera flashes start popping as news vans arrive. The next few days will be chaos. Interviews, statements, proceedings. But for now, in my apartment with my sister and our unlikely ally, I feel something I haven't felt in years. Perfectly gloriously at peace with being difficult. Ready to face the cameras? Camilla asks. I straighten my spine. Ready to tell the truth. The elementary school hallway buzzes with excitement as kids and parents filter into the art show. My students' works line the walls, bright splashes of courage and imagination that refuse to be contained by paper borders. Just like their teacher. Miss Jules, Emma tugs my sleeve, pointing to her painting. I did it just like you said. I made the scary parts beautiful. I kneel beside her, studying the swirling darkness she's transformed into stars. You absolutely did. Is it too difficult? She whispers, echoing my mother's favorite word. No, honey. It's exactly difficult enough. The crowd parts, and I spot my mother standing before Emma's painting. She's been quiet since Leonardo's arrest, since learning how close she came to losing everything. But she came tonight. That's something. It's chaotic, she says, tilting her head at the artwork, but purposeful, like someone I know. Before I can respond, Camilla bursts through the door, still in her court clothes. Did I miss it? Please tell me I didn't miss it. Perfect timing, I say, checking my watch. They're announcing the gallery selections in 5 minutes. She hugs me, whispering, Leonardo took the plea deal. Full confession. It's over. Relief floods through me, but there's something else in her voice. And I've been appointed to the state's new Environmental Oversight Committee. They want someone with a proven record of standing up to corporate corruption. I laugh. Look who's being difficult now. Learned from the best. She squeezes my hand. Oh, and Rick's here. He brought someone you should meet. Rick appears with a tall woman in a gallery owner's perfectly curated outfit. Jules, this is Marina. She saw your work online, the pieces Leonardo destroyed. I photograph everything, I explain. Digital backup of all my art after previous experiences. Marina nods. Rick showed me the photos, that series about silence and power. I have space in my gallery's upcoming exhibition on feminist perspectives, if you're interested. My heart stops. Marina's gallery is the kind of space I'd never dared approach, certain I'd be dismissed. My voice catches. The originals were destroyed, so recreate them. Bigger, bolder. Her eyes spark. Sometimes destruction is just renovation in disguise. The principal calls for attention, gathering everyone for the announcement of which student pieces will be displayed at the district art show. As she speaks, I feel a small hand slip into mine. Emma vibrating with nervous energy. What if they don't pick mine? She whispers. Then we'll know they weren't ready for something that brave. My mother appears on Emma's other side, taking her free hand. And brave is better than safe, she says, meeting my eyes. I should have taught you that a long time ago. The principal unfolds her paper. Our first selection, Emma Chen's Night Stars. Emma squeals, launching herself at the painting. My mother follows to help her take it down, but pauses. Juliet, that day, with the name tag. I never meant... I know, Mom. No, let me finish. I called you difficult because I didn't have the courage to be difficult myself. But watching you these past weeks, seeing you stand up not just for yourself, but for everyone else. She straightens her spine. I'm proud of you. My difficult, magnificent daughter. Camilla joins us, followed by Rick and Marina. Around us, children excitedly discuss their art, unafraid to take up space, to make noise, to be seen. Ready to see your new gallery space? Marina asks. I look at my family, my sister who jumped with me, my mother learning to embrace the chaos, even Rick who chose truth over safety. At Emma, proudly showing her difficult, beautiful painting to anyone who'll look. Actually, I say, I want to change the series title. Oh? Instead of Silence and Power, I smile, feeling the rightness of it. I want to call it Difficult Women. Perfect, Marina says. And the first piece? I turn to Emma's painting. Darkness transformed into stars, fear turned to beauty, silence broken by truth. This one. I want to recreate this one first. But that's not your art, my mother says, confused. No, I agree. It's better. It's what happens when we teach the next generation that their voice matters. That difficult isn't an insult. It's a superpower. Emma beams up at me, starlight and courage radiating from her small frame. Around us, the art show continues, a symphony of colour and chaos and children unafraid to make noise. And in that moment, I am exactly difficult enough.
The knife hovers over my daughter's 18th birthday cake, catching the light like a warning I should have heeded. My hand trembles slightly as 30 pairs of eyes watch, waiting for that perfect mother moment, the ceremonial first slice that would look just right on Instagram. Mom, wait. Tabitha's voice cuts through the party chatter. Something in her tone makes my skin prickle. I force my camera-ready smile to stay fixed. The one I've perfected over 20 years of marriage to Dalton. He stands behind me, his hand possessive on my waist, and I catch a whiff of unfamiliar perfume that definitely isn't mine. I have an announcement, Tabitha continues, her voice stronger now. The party guests lean in, expecting some cute teenage declaration about college plans or a boyfriend, but I know my daughter's face, every micro-expression, every subtle tell. This is something else entirely. Before we cut this cake, I want to thank everyone for coming, especially— She pauses, her eyes finding someone in the crowd. Especially my real family, who found me after all these years. The knife slips from my grip, clattering against the ceramic cake plate. The sound echoes through our suddenly silent living room. "What are you talking about, sweetie?" I manage to ask, but my voice sounds distant, like I'm underwater. Dalton's hand tightens on my waist. Not supportive, restraining. "I found my biological parents," Tabitha announces, "and they're here tonight." The room spins. Adoption? But that's impossible. I carried her. I have the stretch marks, the C-section scar, the memories of 27 hours of labor. I remember the weight of her in my arms, that first cry, the way she smelled. "Honey, there must be some mistake," I say, reaching for her hand across the cake table. She pulls back like my touch might burn her. "No mistake, Sadie." Dalton's voice comes from behind me, cool and controlled. Maybe we should continue this discussion privately, but Tabitha isn't finished. "They told me everything, about the fertility clinic, about what you did." Her eyes lock onto mine, filled with an accusation I don't understand. "About who you really are." The party dissolves into whispers. I see Cameron, my closest friend, push through the crowd toward me, concern etched on her face. But before she reaches us, a couple I don't recognize steps forward. The woman has Tabitha's eyes. The man has her smile. The real one, not the camera-ready version she learned from me. "I think," Dalton says smoothly, "it's time we wrapped up this lovely party." His fingers dig into my side, steering me toward the kitchen. "Sadie, darling, why don't you start getting the coffee ready?" I've spent years translating Dalton's suggestions into commands, but something snaps inside me. Maybe it's the perfume still lingering in the air, or the stranger's smile on my daughter's face, or the way his fingers are leaving bruises on my skin. No. I plant my feet. I want answers. Now. "Now isn't the time for one of your scenes," he hisses in my ear. "When is the time, Dalton? When you finish destroying everything I thought I knew?" The words escape before I can stop them. The whispers around us cease. In 18 years of marriage, I've never challenged him publicly. His mask slips for just a second, and I glimpse something cold and alien beneath it. Then he smiles, all charm and concern. "Sweetheart, you're upset. Let's get you somewhere quiet." But I'm not moving. I'm watching Tabitha embrace these strangers. Her real family, she called them. I'm watching my perfectly curated life crumble like the birthday cake I spent hours decorating. I remember every moment, I say, my voice rising. Every single moment of her birth. How is this possible? "Memory is a funny thing," Dalton says quietly, "especially when you've had help constructing it." The room tilts again, but this time it's not shock, it's rage. Pure, clarifying rage that burns through the fog of confusion. I turn to face him fully, shrugging off his grip. "What did you do?" He meets my eyes, and for the first time in our marriage, he doesn't try to soften the truth. What I had to do. What you made necessary. Behind him, I see Tabitha slip a folded paper into her pocket. She catches my eye, and in that moment, I realize she knows something I don't. Something that could explain why my husband smells like another woman's perfume, why strangers have my daughter's smile, why 18 years of memories feel suddenly fragile as spun sugar. The knife still lies on the cake plate. I pick it up, and this time, my hand doesn't shake at all. The house feels wrong in the aftermath. Too quiet, too empty, like a stage after the audience has gone home. I sit at my kitchen island, staring at the half-eaten birthday cake, its carefully piped roses now collapsed and smeared. My phone buzzes for the 20th time. Cameron again. I let it ring. 3 hours since the party imploded. 2 hours since Tabitha left with those strangers. 1 hour since Dalton stormed out after I threw his clothes onto the front lawn. Now it's just me and the ruins of a life I thought I understood. I pick up the knife, still sticky with frosting, and study my reflection in its surface. The woman looking back seems familiar and foreign at once, like a photograph that's been subtly altered. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text, not from Cameron, but from an unknown number. Check his office, third drawer down, behind the false back. You deserve to know. I read it 3 times, my heart pounding harder with each pass. The message disappears before my eyes. One of those vanishing texts Tabitha's always using. Dalton's office has always been off limits. Sacred space, he called it. Now I understand it was just another wall he built to keep me contained. The door isn't locked. He never thought he'd need to lock it against me. Inside, everything is meticulously organized, just like the life he constructed for us. Family photos line the walls. Tabitha's first steps, our wedding day, beach vacations where we all smiled on cue. I wonder how many of these moments were real. The third drawer sticks slightly when I pull it. Inside, everything is exactly where it should be. File folders labeled with his precise handwriting, spare phone chargers, extra business cards. But when I run my fingers along the back, I feel it, a slight gap where the wood doesn't quite meet. My hands shake as I pry the false back loose. Behind it, a thin manila envelope falls into my lap. What are you doing in here? I jump at Dalton's voice. He stands in the doorway, jacket still on, face flushed from whatever he's been doing for the past hour. Finding out who I married, I say, clutching the envelope. He moves toward me with that fluid grace I once found so attractive. Sadie, you're upset. You're not thinking clearly. Give me the envelope. Like I gave you 18 years? Like I gave you my daughter? Our daughter. He reaches for the envelope, but I step back. Everything I did was for us, for our family. Was that your family's perfume I smelled earlier? The one you couldn't quite wash off before the party? His face hardens. You want to do this now? Fine. Let's talk about family. Let's talk about why I had to take such extreme measures in the first place. What's that supposed to mean? Your brother knew. Jalen figured it out, didn't he? That's why he... Don't you dare talk about my brother. The rage rises so fast it chokes me. He died trying to protect me from something. Was it you? Was it this? A phone rings. His private line, the one I'm never supposed to answer. His eyes flick to it automatically. Go ahead, I say. Answer it. It's probably your real family calling. Instead, he steps closer, his voice dropping to that soothing tone he uses when he wants to make me doubt myself. Sweetheart, you're spiraling. Remember what happened last time? The doctors said, the doctors you hired, the ones who helped you make me believe whatever you wanted? His silence is all the confirmation I need. Get out, I whisper. This is my house. Not anymore. I pull out my phone, thumb hovering over Cameron's number. Get out or I start making calls. To the police, to your partners, to everyone at that party who saw what happened. You don't want to do this, he says, but there's a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. You don't want to know what's in that envelope. No, I don't, but I need to. We stand there, locked in a standoff, until another call lights up his phone. This time, when his eyes drift toward it, I see something I've never noticed before. Fear. He backs away slowly, straightening his jacket. This isn't over, Sadie. When you're ready to be reasonable, call me. The front door closes behind him with a quiet click. I wait until I hear his car start, then slide down against his desk, the envelope trembling in my hands. Through the window, I catch movement, a figure standing in the shadows of our neighbor's yard. Before I can make out who it is, they step into the light. It's Zoe, my old colleague from the firm I left when Dalton insisted I focus on family. She holds up her phone, showing me a message. It's the same text I received about the drawer. Rain drums against the coffee shop window as I slide into the booth across from Cameron. She pushes a steaming mug toward me without speaking, her eyes fixed on the manila envelope I've placed between us. You look like hell, she finally says. Turns out my whole life is a carefully constructed lie. It doesn't do much for the complexion. I wrap my hands around the mug, seeking warmth. I haven't slept since the party, since Zoe appeared in my yard like some harbinger of truth. Have you opened it? I shake my head. I needed, I don't know, a witness? Someone to tell me I'm not crazy? Cameron reaches across the table, her hand covering mine. You're not crazy, Sadie. You never were. Something in her tone makes me look up sharply. What do you know? She withdraws her hand, suddenly fascinated by her coffee. I've suspected things. About Dalton. About what happened with Jalen. And you never said anything? Would you have believed me? Her voice is gentle, but the truth stings. Every time anyone questioned Dalton, you defended him. Even after what happened with the medication, the episodes he said you had. My chest tightens. Those were real. I have the prescriptions. Prescribed by his friend, the doctor who conveniently retired last year and moved overseas. The coffee turns bitter in my mouth. I push it away, reaching for the envelope instead. I need to know. Whatever's in here, will you stay while I read it? She nods, and I break the seal. Inside, I find medical records, fertility clinic documents, bank statements, and photographs, so many photographs, of Tabitha as a newborn, but not in my arms, of a woman I don't recognize, holding her in a hospital room I've never seen. This can't be right, I whisper. I remember giving birth. I remember. What he wanted you to remember, Cameron says softly. What the drugs made you believe. My phone buzzes. A text from Tabitha. Meet me at the park. Our spot. Come alone. I start to stand, but Cameron grabs my wrist. Wait, there's something else you need to see. She pulls out her own phone, scrolling through emails. Zoe sent these last night. Financial records showing money moving from Dalton's accounts to a private trust. The beneficiary is listed as. A shadow falls across our table. I look up to find Dalton standing there, immaculate in his business suit despite the rain, having a nice chat. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. Cameron, I believe you're needed at the office. Something about those files you've been accessing? The color drains from Cameron's face. She looks at me, then back at Dalton. You can't keep controlling everyone forever. Can I? He slides into the booth next to her, his movement casual but somehow threatening. How's your sister doing? Still struggling with those gambling debts? Cameron's hands clench into fists. I'm sorry, Sadie, she whispers, gathering her things. I tried to help, but. It's okay, I say, though nothing is okay. Go. After she leaves, Dalton reaches for the envelope. I snatch it back, clutching it to my chest. You know, he says conversationally, it's interesting how selective memory can be. For instance, I remember a woman so desperate for a child, she would have done anything, believed anything. Stop it. A woman who had already lost one baby, who couldn't bear to lose another. The world tilts. What did you say? Oh, his face shows mock concern. Did you forget about that too? The miscarriage before Tabitha? It was right after your brother's unfortunate accident. Such a difficult time for you. My head pounds as fragments of memory surface. Pain, blood, Dalton's voice saying everything would be all right if I just took the pills, just trusted him, just let him handle everything. I have to go, I say, standing so abruptly, I knock over my coffee. Tabitha's waiting. Is she? He looks at his own phone. Are you sure about that? I run from the coffee shop into the rain, my heart hammering. The park is only 2 blocks away. I have to reach her before... My phone buzzes again. Unknown number. Don't go to the park. It's not her. Meet me at Jalen's grave instead. Bring the envelope. I stand in the downpour, water soaking through my clothes. The envelope protected against my chest. 2 messages, 2 destinations, 1 chance to finally learn the truth. Through the coffee shop window, I see Dalton watching me, already on his phone. Whatever I decide, I have to decide now. Jalen's headstone stands stark against the gray sky, rain making the granite glisten like tears. I trace his name with trembling fingers, remembering the last time I saw him alive. How he'd tried to tell me something about Dalton, about the fertility clinic. How I'd refused to listen. I should have believed you, I whisper. He died trying to protect you. Zoe emerges from behind a nearby oak, her corporate polish replaced by practical rain gear. Just like I've been trying to do. By hiding in the shadows for years? By waiting until my daughter was gone to say something? I had to wait until I had proof. She gestures to the envelope I'm clutching. And until you were ready to see it. A twig snaps behind us. We both turn to see a man approaching. Tall, broad-shouldered, with Tabitha's determined chin. This is Gareth, Zoe says. He's been helping me gather evidence. Evidence of what? But as soon as I look at him properly, I know. Those eyes, Tabitha's eyes. You're her father, her real father. He nods. Dalton stole my daughter, and he stole years of your life, too. How? The word comes out raw, desperate. The fertility clinic was a front, Zoe explains. Dalton and his partners were taking embryos from paying clients, implanting them in other women. The drugs, the therapy, it was all to make you believe Tabitha was biologically yours. But I remember false memories induced by carefully controlled medication. Gareth's voice is gentle. They did it to dozens of women. My wife was one of their donors. She died never knowing what happened to our embryos. The ground seems to shift beneath my feet. Zoe steadies me with a hand on my arm. Jalen figured it out. She continues. He was investigating the clinic's finances when he had his accident. I was his assistant at the accounting firm. After he died, I kept digging, but I had to be careful. Dalton's network runs deep. My phone buzzes. Another text from Tabitha. I show it to Zoe. Dalton has her phone. She confirms. But she's safe. She's with friends of mine. Why should I trust you? Because I have this. Gareth pulls out a folder. Inside are photos of a younger Dalton with various doctors, financial statements showing millions flowing through shell companies, and, my heart stops, medical records documenting my treatments. There's more, Zoe says. Cameron's been helping us, feeding us information. That's why Dalton threatened her today. He's getting desperate. A car door slams in the distance. Zoe tenses. We need to move. Dalton's people will be looking for you. I'm not going anywhere until I see Tabitha. Mom? I whirl around. Tabitha steps out from behind another headstone, her face pale but determined. She runs to me, and I pull her close, breathing in her familiar scent. I'm so sorry, she whispers. I didn't want to tell you like that at the party, but when I found out what he'd done to you, to all those women, how long have you known? A month. Gareth found me first. Then Zoe showed me the evidence. She pulls back, her eyes, his eyes, filled with tears. Dad, Dalton, he's been moving money around. I think he's planning to run. Another car door, closer this time, footsteps on wet grass. We need to go, Zoe insists. Now! Where? Somewhere safe, somewhere we can plan our next move. She hands me a burner phone. The evidence in that envelope isn't enough to bring him down, but combined with what Cameron's gathering from inside the firm, Cameron? A familiar voice cuts through the rain. I wouldn't count on her help anymore. Dalton emerges from the mist like a nightmare, Cameron beside him. Her face is streaked with tears. I'm sorry, she says again. He has my sister. Get in the car, Sadie. Dalton's voice is steel wrapped in silk. You too, Tabitha. This little rebellion has gone far enough. Tabitha grips my hand. Zoe and Gareth move to flank us. No, I say, and the word feels like freedom. We're done with your cars, your control, your lies. Think carefully about what you're doing. His hand moves toward his jacket pocket. About what you're risking. I already lost everything that mattered, I tell him. Now I'm taking it back. Lightning splits the sky, illuminating us all in harsh white light. The truth-tellers and the liars, the victims and the victimizers. All of us caught in this moment of reckoning. Thunder follows, and in its rumble, I make my choice. The safe house is a small apartment above a closed bookstore, smelling of dust and old paper. I sit at a scratched kitchen table, watching Tabitha sleep on the worn couch, while Zoe makes quiet calls in the corner. The burner phone feels heavy in my pocket, loaded with Cameron's last text. I can fix this. Trust me one more time. Thunder still rolls outside, like an echo of the chaos at the cemetery, of Dalton pulling out not a weapon, but a phone, showing us live footage of Cameron's sister being led into a car, of Cameron's broken apology as she chose her sister's safety over our truth, of Gareth creating a diversion that let us escape into Zoe's waiting car. Your daughter's strong, Gareth says, settling into the chair across from me. Like her mother. Which mother? The words come out sharper than intended. The one who's fighting for her now. He slides a photo across the table, a woman with Tabitha's smile. Rebecca would have loved knowing her daughter had you. Did she? I swallow hard. Did she know what the clinic was doing? No, we were desperate for a child, trying every treatment we could afford. When she died during the egg retrieval procedure, I thought our chance at a family died too. His voice roughens. Then last year, I found irregularities in the clinic's records, started connecting dots. Zoe joins us, her face grim. We have a problem. Cameron just accessed files showing major transfers from Dalton's accounts. He's liquidating everything. Running, I say, just like Tabitha suspected. Not without consequences. Gareth's hands clench. We have enough evidence. Evidence isn't enough. Zoe cuts in. We need someone on the inside, someone he still trusts. They both look at me. No. I stand so abruptly my chair scrapes the floor. I can't go back there, not after everything. Mom? Tabitha stirs on the couch. What's wrong? Before I can answer, all our phones buzz simultaneously. It's a video message. Cameron standing in Dalton's office, fear clear on her face. I did what you asked, she says to someone off screen. The transfers are complete. Now please, let my sister go. Dalton steps into frame, that familiar cold smile in place. Of course, right after you help me with one last thing. He looks directly into the camera. Sadie, darling, I know you're watching. Come home. Let's discuss this like rational adults. You have 2 hours before I start making calls. To the police about Gareth's breaking and entering, to the medical board about Zoe's stolen records, to social services about our unstable daughter. The video ends. Tabitha is fully awake now, her face pale but determined. He's bluffing, she says. He wouldn't risk exposure. He would, Zoe interrupts, because he knows the system will believe him, the respected businessman, over us. Unless, I pull out the burner phone, rereading Cameron's text. Unless we give him exactly what he wants. Mom, no. Listen to me. I grab Tabitha's hands. Your father, Gareth, has been gathering evidence for years. Zoe has the financial records. All we need is proof of Dalton's direct involvement. Proof I can get if he thinks he's won. It's too dangerous, Gareth protests. He's unstable. He's predictable, I correct. His ego, his need for control, I know how to play into them. I've been doing it for 18 years. My phone buzzes again. Another message from Cameron. Storage Unit 23B, password Jalen 1990. Hurry. She's still helping us, I realize. Even now, she's creating a backup plan. Zoe studies the message. That's near the office. If Cameron's managed to stash evidence there, then I need to get it before meeting Dalton. I turn to Tabitha. I need you to trust me. Can you do that? She hugs me fiercely. I never stopped. 2 hours, Zoe reminds us. Whatever we're doing, we need to move fast. I look around at these people. My daughter, her real father, my brother's former assistant, all brought together by one man's web of lies. Then I think of Cameron, still trapped in that web, trying to protect her sister while leaving us breadcrumbs to the truth. I'm going home, I announce, and for the first time, the words taste like victory instead of surrender. But first, we're going to make sure Dalton never controls anyone again. Lightning flashes outside, illuminating our reflections in the window. 4 people hunched over a kitchen table, planning to dismantle an empire built on stolen dreams. The storm isn't over. It's just beginning. Storage Unit 23B looms before me, its padlock glinting in the fluorescent light. My fingers tremble as I punch in Jalen's birth year. The lock clicks open. Inside, bankers' boxes line metal shelves, each labeled with Cameron's precise handwriting. Patient names, dates, financial records, everything we need to expose Dalton's operation and everything that could destroy him. Looking for something specific? I whirl around. Cameron stands in the doorway, her business suit wrinkled, mascara smeared beneath her eyes. Your sister is safe. She steps inside, closing the door. Dalton's men are watching an empty apartment while she's on a plane to Vancouver. The video was recorded yesterday. I needed him to believe he still had leverage. She pulls a USB drive from her pocket. Everything's backed up, including what really happened to Jalen. My throat tightens. Tell me. Jalen found proof that Dalton was selling babies, matching wealthy donors with desperate mothers, playing God with people's lives. The night he died, he wasn't driving to the airport. He was coming to tell you. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead, matching the static in my head. Dalton killed my brother. He arranged it, made it look like an accident, just like he arranged everything else in your life. She hands me the drive, including me. Ice spreads through my chest. What? He hired me to watch you. Report back if you ever started questioning things. Her laugh is bitter. He didn't count on me falling in love with your family, with Tabitha. with the person you could have been without his control. All these years, my hand finds a shelf for support. Were you ever really my friend? I became one. That's why I started gathering evidence, helping Zoe. Why I reached out to Gareth when I found the connection to Tabitha. My phone buzzes, 1 hour left until Dalton's deadline. He'll kill us all, I whisper. No. Cameron's voice hardens. He'll try, but first, he'll want to know what's in here. She gestures to the boxes. His ego won't let him destroy the evidence until he knows exactly what we have. So we give him what he wants. Let him think he's won. While wearing this, she produces a small recording device. Military grade, undetectable. Zoe's contact came through. I take it, feeling its weight, lighter than the secrets I've carried for years. There's something else you need to see. Cameron pulls out a folder. Medical records, not the fake ones Dalton created, the real ones, about your pregnancy, the one you lost. My hands shake as I open it. Dates, test results, doctor's notes, all in stark medical language that cuts through the fog of manufactured memories. It was real, I breathe. That baby was real. Yes, and after you lost it, when you were most vulnerable, that's when Dalton implemented his plan. The fertility treatments, the drugs, the therapy, all designed to make you accept Tabitha as your biological child. Why? Why go to such lengths? Because you were perfect, grieving, desperate for a child, with enough family money to fund his operation. And Tabitha, she hesitates. Tabitha was special, the perfect donor embryo, guaranteed to produce a child of exceptional intelligence and ability. He could have sold her to the highest bidder, but he wanted her for himself, his ultimate achievement. My phone buzzes again. Dalton's message is simple. Time's running out, darling. I have to go back, I say. Make him believe I'm broken, that I'll accept his version of the truth. He'll be expecting that. Cameron checks her watch, which is why we're going to give him exactly what he wants and everything he fears. She pulls out her phone, showing me a series of texts. My breath catches as I read them. Is this real? Very. The question is, are you ready to use it? I think of Jalen, driving through the night to save me, of Tabitha, brave enough to shatter our perfect illusion, of the baby I lost, the only child that was truly mine. I'm done being ready, I tell her. I'm done being careful. I'm done being his perfect, controlled wife. Good, she hands me a key. Because in 45 minutes, everything changes. No matter what happens in that house, no matter what he says or threatens, remember, you're not alone anymore. I slip the recording device into my bra, the USB drive into my shoe, and the key into my pocket. Each one a weapon, each one a truth. Cameron? I pause at the door. Thank you for becoming my friend for real. She smiles, sad and fierce. Go get your life back. I step out into the night, heading toward the house where my husband waits with his lies and his power and his carefully constructed world. Time to tear it all down. Our front door opens before I can reach for my key. Dalton stands in the warm light of our foyer, jacket off, sleeves rolled up, casual, as if this were any other evening. Welcome home, darling. He steps aside to let me in. Shall we have this conversation in my office? The house smells wrong, too clean, like evidence has been scrubbed away. I follow him down the familiar hallway, past photos I now know are carefully curated lies. The recording device feels hot against my skin. His office is exactly as I left it, except for one detail, a glass of whiskey on his desk, half empty. Dalton never drinks while handling business. He's nervous. Sit. He gestures to the chair across from his desk, the supplicant's position. Instead, I remain standing. Where's Cameron? Taking care of loose ends. He settles into his chair, Now, about your little adventure. Did you ever love me? The question surprises us both. Or was I just convenient? Something flickers across his face, almost like pain. Everything I did was for us, for our family. Our family? I laugh, the sound sharp as broken glass. Tell me about Rebecca. He stills. Who? Tabitha's real mother, the woman who died in your clinic. Was she convenient too? You're confused. He stands slowly. The medications, the stress. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking clearly for the first time in 18 years. I pull out my phone, playing the video Cameron showed me. On screen, a younger Dalton discusses acquisition costs with a doctor, while a nurse wheels an unconscious woman down a hallway. Where did you get that? The same place I got these. I drop the USB drive on his desk. Financial records, medical files, proof of what you did to those women, to me. His hand moves toward the desk drawer where he keeps his gun. I feel a thrill of fear, but keep talking. Jalen found out, didn't he? That's why you had him killed. My brother died trying to save me from you. Your brother was a drunk who crashed his own car. But his voice wavers. The police might disagree, especially when they see the brake line maintenance records Cameron found. He lunges for the drawer. I step back, heart pounding, as he pulls out the gun. Give me the drive, he says quietly. Or what? You'll shoot me? Add murder to your list of crimes? I'll do whatever's necessary to protect what I've built. The gun doesn't waver. Everything I did was for us, for Tabitha. No. My voice grows stronger. Everything you did was for you, your ego, your control, your perfect family illusion. An illusion you were happy to live in. He steps around the desk. You wanted that baby so badly, you would have believed anything, done anything. You're right. The admission stops him. I was broken after losing my baby, vulnerable, perfect for your scheme, but you made one mistake. Oh? You gave me Tabitha, and she's stronger than both of us. On cue, the security system chimes. Front door opening, multiple footsteps. What did you do? His eyes narrow. Nothing, just invited your other families over. The office door opens. 3 women enter, all around my age, all with the same haunted look I used to see in my mirror. Behind them stands Gareth, Zoe, and Tabitha. Meet your wives, Dalton, the ones whose babies you stole, the ones you drugged and manipulated, just like me. Mom, Tabitha's voice cracks. His gun. He won't use it. I step closer to him. Because in about 30 seconds, the police will arrive with search warrants for every property you own. Cameron's been very helpful, explaining exactly where to look. His hand shakes. You're bluffing. Like you bluffed about having her sister. Vancouver's lovely this time of year, by the way. Sirens wail in the distance, growing closer. It's over, I tell him softly. The perfect family, the perfect lie, all of it. He looks at each face in turn. The women he betrayed, the daughter he stole, the life he manufactured, and something breaks behind his eyes. The gun clatters to the floor. You were never supposed to wake up, he whispers. But I did. We all did. Police flood the house. Gareth moves to restrain Dalton while Zoe retrieves the gun. The other women huddle together, sharing stories, sharing strength. Tabitha runs to me, burying her face in my shoulder like she did as a child. Is it really over? I hold her close, breathing in the scent of her hair. My daughter, not by blood but by choice, by love, by truth. No, I say, watching as officers lead Dalton away. It's just beginning. Morning sunlight streams through Jalen's bedroom window, turning dust motes into floating stars. I run my fingers along his old desk, where case files now spread like fallen leaves, evidence of lives disrupted, families fractured, truth finally emerging. Found another one, Cameron says from the doorway, holding up a manila folder. A girl in Seattle. Her mother just reached out. How many now? 23 confirmed cases, more coming forward every day. I add the folder to our growing collection. After Dalton's arrest, his empire began crumbling like a sandcastle at high tide. Each wave reveals new secrets, new victims, new threads to unravel. Footsteps on the stairs, Tabitha and Gareth, returning from their morning coffee ritual. Their relationship is still new, tender as a spring seedling, but growing stronger each day. Mom, Tabitha holds out a paper cup. We brought you your usual. And something else. Gareth produces an envelope. From Rebecca's parents. My hands shake slightly as I open it. Inside is a photo of Rebecca at Tabitha's age. Same determined chin, same fierce eyes. With it, a note. Thank you for loving our granddaughter when we couldn't. They want to meet you, Tabitha says softly. All of us, actually. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. A text from Zoe. Turn on the news, now. Cameron grabs the remote. The screen fills with Dalton's face, hollow-eyed in prison orange, as he's led into court. The headline scrolls, Fertility Clinic CEO pleads guilty, agrees to name accomplices. He's talking? Cameron breathes. Finally, because he knows what's in the last box, I say. They all turn to look at me. What last box? Gareth asks. I move to Jalen's closet, reaching for the false panel he showed me years ago, the one I'd forgotten until last night's dream brought it rushing back. Inside is a single recorder, dusty but intact. The night before he died, Jalen came to me. He was excited, said he had proof of something big. I was too medicated to understand, but he left this. My fingers shake as I press play. Jalen's voice fills the room, young, urgent, alive. Sadie, if you're hearing this, I got sloppy. Let them catch me. But you need to know, it goes deeper than Dalton. There's a whole network, judges, doctors, politicians. I'm meeting someone tonight who can blow it all open. If anything happens to me, look for... The recording cuts off in static. That's why they killed him, Cameron realizes. Not just to protect Dalton, to protect everyone, I finish. And now Dalton's naming names to save himself. Tabitha grabs my hand. Mom, this is bigger than we thought. Maybe we should stop. No, I squeeze her hand. Your uncle died trying to expose this. Those women lost their babies, their memories, their lives. We finish what Jalen started. It'll be dangerous, Gareth warns. Everything worth doing is. I look around at these people who've become my true family, forged not in blood or lies, but in shared purpose and hard-won truth. Besides, I'm not alone anymore. Cameron's already on her laptop, fingers flying. I can cross-reference Dalton's associates with adoption records, political donations. I'll call Zoe, Gareth says. Her contacts in the DA's office need to hear that recording. Tabitha hugs me fiercely. We're really doing this? We are. I kiss her forehead. For Rebecca, for Jalen, for every family they tried to erase. The morning sun catches the dust motes again, dancing like stars in Jalen's old room. I think of all the nights he spent here, piecing together a puzzle whose scope he barely glimpsed. Of all the nights I spent in a drugged haze, missing the truth right in front of me. No more missing, no more haze. Mom, Tabitha's voice pulls me back. What do we do first? I pick up the Seattle folder, add it to Jalen's files, and face my daughter. This miraculous girl who shattered my perfect illusion and helped me find my real strength. We do what I should have done 18 years ago, I tell her. We wake everyone up. Through the window, I watch the sun climb higher, burning away the morning mist. Somewhere in a courtroom, Dalton is spilling secrets. Somewhere in Vancouver, Cameron's sister is safe. Somewhere in Seattle, another mother is remembering her truth. And here, in my brother's room, surrounded by evidence and love and purpose, I'm finally fully awake.
The cream-colored envelope sits on my kitchen counter like a bomb waiting to detonate. I've been circling it for hours, running my fingers along its expensive textured surface, tracing the gold calligraphy that spells out my name. The invitation inside is even worse. Thick cardstock dripping with false sincerity, requesting my presence at the wedding of Royce and Helen, my ex and my former best friend. How thoughtful of them to include me. I pour another glass of wine, my third since the mail arrived. The autumn sun streaming through my apartment windows feels too bright, too cheerful for this moment. My phone buzzes again. Probably Gemma, checking if I'm okay. I'm not okay. I'm so far from okay that okay feels like a distant country I once visited in a dream. You have to go, Gemma had insisted earlier. Show them you're above it all. Show them they didn't break you. But they did break me. I, Emily Parker, who prided myself on being unbreakable, am sitting here with mascara-stained cheeks, contemplating whether to RSVP to my own personal nightmare. The memory of how I found out about them still burns fresh. That Sunday brunch 3 months ago, when I walked into our favorite cafe and saw them wrapped around each other in our usual booth. They didn't even have the decency to look guilty. Helen's perfectly manicured hand rested on Royce's chest, the same chest I'd laid my head on countless nights, while he smiled that infuriatingly charming smile. "Emily," he'd said, as if we were all old friends meeting for coffee. "We were going to tell you. Were you? Before or after you moved her into our old apartment? Before or after you gave her my grandmother's recipe book that I'd left behind?" My wine glass is empty again. I reach for my phone, finally ready to face Gemma's messages. Instead, I find myself staring at a photo from last year's Christmas party. Helen, Royce, and me, all smiles and holiday sweaters. Helen's arm around my shoulders, her face turned toward mine in conspiratorial friendship. Looking at it now, I can see the hints I missed. The way Royce's body angled toward her, the possessive grip of her fingers on my shoulder, marking her territory. The doorbell startles me out of my spiral. Through the peephole, I see Gemma's concerned face, and behind her is that Jasper, Royce's best friend since college. My hands shake as I open the door. "What are you doing here?" Jasper looks uncomfortable, shifting his weight from foot to foot. "Emily, there's something you need to know about the wedding invitation." "I really don't. It wasn't Helen's idea," he cuts in. "Royce insisted. He said." Jasper glances at Gemma, who nods encouragingly. "He said having you there would be the perfect way to show everyone he'd won. That you were just the practice run for his real happy ending." The words hit like a physical blow. Practice run. The room spins slightly, wine and rage mixing into something dangerous in my blood. 6 years of my life reduced to a practice run. Gemma's voice seems to come from far away. "Maybe you should sit down." But I'm already moving, grabbing my laptop from the coffee table. My fingers fly across the keyboard as I pull up the wedding RSVP page. Jasper and Gemma hover nervously as I click accept and type in my response. "One guest, dietary restrictions, none. Special notes, looking forward to toasting the happy couple." "Emily," Gemma says slowly, "what are you thinking?" I close the laptop with a decisive click. The fog of wine and grief has burned away, replaced by crystal clarity. I'm thinking it would be rude to decline such a thoughtful invitation. After all, I meet their worried gazes with a smile that feels foreign on my face. I have so much I want to say to the happy couple. Jasper takes a step back, and I catch something in his expression. Not just concern, but recognition. He knows something about Royce that made him come here today. Something beyond this petty wedding drama. "Jasper," I keep my voice light, casual. "Is there anything else I should know about the happy couple?" He swallows hard, glancing at the door like he might bolt. I should go. But as he turns to leave, I catch his whispered words. Just be careful. Royce isn't who any of us thought he was. The door closes behind him, leaving me with Gemma and the thundering of my heart. Practice run. Happy ending. Oh, Royce. You have no idea what's coming. I pick up the invitation again, running my finger along the embossed date. 3 weeks. 3 weeks to uncover whatever Jasper is hiding. 3 weeks to plan exactly how I'm going to turn their perfect day into the reckoning they deserve. The wedding venue looks exactly like something Helen would choose. All sweeping staircases and crystal chandeliers. The kind of place that screams old money trying to look older. I'm here for the rehearsal dinner, watching the sunset paint the marble columns gold, while my stomach ties itself in knots. You don't have to do this, Gemma whispers beside me. She's been my shadow all week, ever since Jasper's cryptic warning. We can still leave, but I can't. Not when I've finally started pulling at the threads of Royce's perfect facade. 3 days of careful digging have revealed interesting patterns, unexplained absences, mysterious phone calls, and a company credit card with some very creative expenses. Emily. Helen's voice cuts through my thoughts, sugary sweet and sharp as glass. I'm so glad you came. She's wearing a white cocktail dress that probably costs more than my monthly rent, her smile fixed and brittle. Behind her, Sylvia, her mother and my former almost mother-in-law, watches with barely concealed disdain. Helen. I force myself to smile back. Wouldn't miss it. Though I must admit, she continues, I was surprised you accepted, given everything. The memory floods back unbidden. Not just the cafe betrayal, but the moment 2 weeks later when I discovered they'd been together for months. All those girls' nights Helen had canceled. All those late meetings Royce claimed to have. I'd been so blind. Water under the bridge, I lie smoothly. We're all adults here, Sylvia sniffs. Some more than others, clearly. Helen, darling, the florist needs you. They sweep away, leaving the scent of expensive perfume and judgment in their wake. Gemma squeezes my arm. You okay? Fine. I'm not fine. I'm remembering all the Sunday dinners at Sylvia's house, how she used to call me daughter, how she promised my mother before she died that she'd look after me. Now she can barely meet my eyes. The rehearsal dinner begins. A choreographed display of wealth and false sentiment. I watch Royce work the room, that familiar charisma drawing everyone into his orbit. He hasn't acknowledged me yet, but I feel his awareness like a current in the air. Quite a show, isn't it? I turn to find Nathaniel, one of Royce's business partners, studying me with unusual intensity. We've met at company parties before, but never really talked. There's something different about him tonight. A tension in his shoulders, a careful distance from the celebration. Almost makes you forget what's underneath. He continues quietly. My pulse quickens. And what's underneath? He glances around before leaning closer. Meet me by the garden fountain in 20 minutes. There's something you should see. Before I can respond, he's gone, leaving me with questions burning in my throat. Across the room, Royce finally catches my eye. His smile doesn't waver, but something dark flickers across his face. Possession, triumph, warning. The next 20 minutes crawl by like honey in winter. I make small talk, dodge pointed comments about my single status, and watch the clock. When I finally slip away to the garden, my hands are shaking. Nathaniel is waiting, a manila envelope in his hands. Before I give you this, he says, I need to know what you plan to do with it. That depends on what's in it. Evidence. His voice is grim. Of what Royce really is. What he's been doing to the company, to people who trust him. To you. The fountain burbles quietly behind us as he hands over the envelope. Inside are bank statements, emails, photographs, a paper trail of destruction. My vision blurs as I read, horror mounting with each page. He's been embezzling, Nathaniel explains softly, using the company to fund a separate life. Helen doesn't know, or doesn't want to know. But there's more. I find it near the bottom. Credit card statements showing hotel charges in New York. On weekends, when Royce was supposedly with me, when Helen was supposedly visiting her sister. He never chose between you, Nathaniel says. He was playing you both, and others. The truth hits like a physical blow. All those business trips, those late nights at the office. He hadn't left me for Helen. He'd been with both of us, probably others, crafting separate lives like some twisted architect of deception. Why are you showing me this? Nathaniel's eyes are serious in the gathering dusk. Because the board meeting is next week, right after the wedding. He's planning something big, something that could ruin a lot of lives. And you, he pauses, you might be the only one who can stop him. Inside, the rehearsal dinner continues. Laughter floating through the open windows. I clutch the envelope, feeling the weight of its secrets. My simple revenge fantasy has just become something much darker, much more dangerous. And Royce, damn him, is watching me through the window, raising his glass in a mock toast. I spend the night studying Nathaniel's documents until my eyes burn, piecing together the scope of Royce's deception. By dawn, my apartment floor is a maze of paper trails and broken trust, each revelation stoking the fire in my chest. My phone buzzes. Gemma, turn on the news, now. The morning business report hits like a sledgehammer. Allegations of financial misconduct at Robertson Industries. Sources suggest internal investigations. The anchor's voice fades as my mind races. This isn't just about me anymore. This is bigger than broken hearts and betrayed friendships. I'm halfway through my second coffee when someone pounds on my door. Helen stands there, mascara streaked down her face, clutching her phone like a lifeline. "Did you do this?" she demands, pushing past me. "Are you behind these rumors? Funny how quickly you assume I'm to blame." I close the door, watching her pace my living room like a caged animal. "Shouldn't you be asking your fiancé about this?" Royce says it's all lies, competitors trying to tank the stock before the merger. She stops, finally noticing the papers scattered across my floor. Her face drains of color. "What is all this?" "The truth." I hand her one of the hotel receipts, dated during her supposed sister's weekend. "Though I'm guessing you already knew some of it." She stares at the paper, hands trembling. "I don't what, Helen? Don't want to admit you knew he was playing us both? Or that he's still playing you?" "You don't understand," she whispers. "The wedding has to happen. My father's company depends on this merger. If Royce goes down..." She looks up, and for a moment, I see the friend I used to know. Scared, vulnerable, trapped. "Please, Emily, whatever you're planning, don't." The old me would have softened, would have tried to help. But I remember how she looked in that cafe, wearing the necklace I'd left at Royce's apartment, smugly certain of her victory. "Like you stopped when I begged you to tell me the truth?" My voice comes out harder than I intended. "When did it start, Helen? When did you decide I was disposable?" She flinches. "It wasn't like that. He has a way of making you feel special, like you're the only one who understands him." Her laugh is bitter. "I suppose we both fell for it. But you stayed, even after you knew about the others." "Others?" Something shifts in her expression. "What others?" Before I can respond, my phone rings. Nathaniel. Helen recognizes his name on the screen and goes very still. "You're working with him." Her voice rises. "Do you have any idea what he's capable of?" I answer the call on speaker. "Emily," Nathaniel says urgently, "don't trust anything Helen tells you. She's been helping Royce cover his tracks. The whole wedding is just a smokescreen for..." Helen lunges for my phone, ending the call. "He's lying. Nathaniel's the one you can't trust. He's been obsessed with taking down Royce for years." "Why should I believe you?" "Because," she takes a deep breath, "I can prove Nathaniel is behind the embezzlement. Royce caught him months ago, but kept it quiet to protect the company. The wedding, the merger, it's all to save jobs, to keep everything from collapsing." My head spins. Who's playing whom? The documents in front of me tell one story, but Helen's fear seems genuine. And Nathaniel's convenient appearance, his ready-made evidence. Show me, I demand. Show me your proof. She pulls out her phone, fingers flying over the screen. Come to the office tonight. Everything you need to know is there. She heads for the door, then pauses. I know you hate me, Emily, but please, wait until you see everything before you decide who the real villain is. After she leaves, I sit among the scattered papers, trying to make sense of it all. My phone buzzes with a text from Gemma. Just heard from Jasper. Says he needs to talk. ASAP. I text back. When? Now. Says it's about Nathaniel and Helen. Things aren't what they seem. The rage that's been driving me suddenly feels hollow, replaced by a creeping uncertainty. I've been so focused on revenge, so sure of who deserved my anger. But what if I'm just another piece being moved across someone else's board? My phone buzzes again. Royce this time. My finger hovers over decline, but his message preview stops me cold. I know you have the documents, but you don't know the whole story. Someone's going to get hurt, Emily. And this time, it won't be you. I stare at the message, feeling the ground shift beneath my feet. In less than 12 hours, everything I thought I knew has unraveled. The question isn't just who to trust anymore, it's who's really pulling the strings. The office building looms dark against the evening sky, most windows already dark. My heels click against marble as I cross the lobby. Helen's keycard burning a hole in my pocket. She'd texted it to me an hour ago. 4th floor, executive files. The truth you need is in Royce's personal drive. Gemma's warning echoes in my head. It's a trap, Em. Why would she suddenly want to help you? But I'd seen the fear in Helen's eyes this morning. Whatever game she's playing, there's real desperation behind it. The elevator doors open to a silent floor. My phone buzzes. Jasper, again. I've been dodging his calls since our coffee meeting earlier, where he'd dropped another bomb. Nathaniel isn't just Royce's business partner, he'd said, hands wrapped around his untouched coffee. He was engaged to Helen 3 years ago, before Royce, before everything fell apart. The revelation had shifted my entire perspective. Nathaniel's help wasn't random. It was calculated, personal. I find Royce's office easily, muscle memory from countless lunch visits guiding me. The door unlocks with a soft click. Everything looks exactly the same. The pretentious modern art, the wall of business awards, the oversized desk where we'd once, focus. The computer wakes with a hum. Helen's login works, but as I start searching through files, something feels off. Everything's too neat, too obvious. A folder labeled Merger Documents practically screams setup. I wondered if you'd come. I spin around. Nathaniel stands in the doorway, his expression unreadable, here to show me more evidence. My voice stays steady, despite my racing heart. Or should I ask Helen about your history? He doesn't flinch. So Jasper told you. Did he also tell you why the engagement ended? I'm guessing Royce had something to do with it. Helen had everything to do with it. He steps into the office, closing the door. She chose him. Chose this life of lies and manipulation. I tried to warn her about what Royce really was, but she wouldn't listen. And now you're trying to warn me. I'm trying to stop him before he destroys more lives. Nathaniel moves closer, his intensity almost magnetic. The merger isn't just business. It's a hostile takeover disguised as a marriage. Helen's father's company, the jobs, everything. It'll all belong to Royce. And then he'll strip it bare. My fingers find the USB drive in my pocket. The one with copies of his evidence. Why should I believe you? Because you've seen how he operates, how he takes what he wants and discards people when he's done. His hand touches my arm, gentle but urgent. Help me stop him, Emily. We can expose everything at the wedding. Make sure everyone knows exactly who they're dealing with. The warmth of his touch sends warning signals through my brain. This feels familiar, too familiar. The same intensity, the same pull I'd felt with, the realization hits like ice water. I step back, really looking at him now. You're not just trying to stop Royce, are you? You want to hurt him, like he hurt you. Something dark flashes across his face. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. My laugh sounds hollow. God, I'm such an idiot. You're exactly like him, using people, manipulating situations. Did you plan this from the beginning? Finding me, feeding me information, playing on my pain. Emily, was any of it real? The evidence, the warnings. My voice rises despite myself. Or am I just your weapon against Royce? The elevator dings distantly. Nathaniel's expression hardens. Everything in those documents is true. How I got them, why I shared them, that doesn't change the facts. No, but it changes everything else. I move toward the door. I'm not your revenge proxy. His hand catches my wrist. You can't trust them. Helen, Royce, they're playing you too. Maybe. I pull free, but at least now I know everyone's game. I'm halfway to the elevator when I hear voices, Helen and Royce, getting closer. Panic surges as I duck into a conference room, pressing against the wall as they pass. The board won't wait, Helen's saying. If we don't move now, everything's under control. Royce's voice carries that familiar, confident edge. By this time tomorrow, Emily will have served her purpose. And Nathaniel, well, let's just say his evidence won't matter anymore. Their voices fade, but their words echo in my head. Served her purpose, won't matter anymore. The pieces click together with terrifying clarity. I'm not just caught in their games. I'm running out of time. My phone lights up with a text from Gemma. Found something. About the night Royce left you. You need to see this now. I stare at the message, my heart pounding against my ribs. Whatever truth I thought I was chasing, I'm starting to realize it's much darker than I imagined. And I'm in too deep to back out now. Gemma's apartment feels like a sanctuary after the office, but the look on her face tells me safety is an illusion. She hands me a glass of wine and opens her laptop without speaking. Remember when Royce ended things? She asks, pulling up a video file. How he said he'd fallen out of love gradually, naturally? The wine turns sour in my mouth, hard to forget. This is security footage from his office, 2 days before he left you. She hits play. The grainy video shows Royce at his desk, Helen perched on the edge. But it's Sylvia, Helen's mother, who commands the room, gesturing emphatically. Can't keep stringing her along. Sylvia's voice crackles through the speakers. Emily's sweet, but she's not right for this family, not for where we need to go. Royce leans back, that familiar calculating look on his face. The merger requires a united front, Sylvia cuts in. Helen understands business, family obligations. Emily still thinks love conquers all. She laughs, the sound like breaking glass. Besides, her mother's medical bills make her vulnerable. We can't risk. I lunge for the laptop, slamming it shut. The room spins as pieces fall into place. How Royce had insisted on helping with Mom's cancer treatments. How the hospital bills mysteriously disappeared after he left. Gemma touches my shoulder. There's more. I can't. You need to know. Those bills. They're being used to blackmail other people too. It's a pattern. Royce finds people in desperate situations, helps them, then uses it against them later. My legs give out, and I sink onto her couch. How did you get this? Jasper. She sits beside me. He's been gathering evidence for months. He wanted to tell you sooner, but she hesitates. He was afraid of what Royce would do. To you, to your mom's memory. Hot tears spill down my cheeks. Not from sadness, but pure, incandescent rage. They hadn't just taken my relationship, my friend, my future. They'd turned my mother's death into a weapon. My phone buzzes. Helen, where are you? We need to talk. Alone. Don't, Gemma warns. After what we just saw? No. I stand, wiping my eyes. I need to hear what she has to say. Need to see her try to explain this away. Emily. I'll be careful. I grab my coat. But I'm done hiding. The drive to Helen's apartment gives me time to steel myself. By the time I knock on her door, my hands have stopped shaking. She opens it wearing yoga pants and a worried expression. Thank God. Listen, about the office. Save it. I push past her. Let's talk about my mother instead. She freezes. What? The hospital bills. The convenient timing. Tell me, Helen, was that your idea or your mother's? It's not what you think. She runs a hand through her hair. We were trying to help. By using my dying mother as leverage, my voice cracks. Was any of it real? Our friendship? Those nights you held me while I cried about losing her? Of course it was real. She grabs my arms. Everything with your mom, that wasn't supposed to happen. But Roy said we could help, make things easier. By the time I realized what he was really doing, you stayed anyway. I had no choice. Tears spill down her cheeks. My father's company was already tangled up with Royce's. If I left, if I exposed anything, hundreds of people would lose everything, including you. What are you talking about? She pulls away, moving to a drawer. These came today. She hands me a stack of papers. Proof that your mother's bills weren't paid off. They were transferred. If anything happens to disrupt the merger, my blood runs cold as I read. Every payment, every treatment, all still hanging over my head. One signature from Royce could destroy me financially. So now you know, Helen whispers. We're both trapped. No. Something shifts inside me, grief crystallizing into purpose. We're only trapped if we play by his rules. Emily, you said hundreds of people would lose everything? I pull out my phone, scrolling to Jasper's number. What if we could prove Royce is the real threat? What if we could show everyone exactly what they're really investing in? It's too dangerous. If he finds out, he already knows we're on to him. But he doesn't know what we know. I meet her eyes. Help me, Helen. Really help me this time. Or are you still choosing him? She stares at me for a long moment, tears drying on her cheeks. Finally, she pulls out her own phone. There's a safety deposit box, she says quietly, with evidence even Royce doesn't know about. But if we do this, she looks up, fear and determination warring in her expression. There's no going back. I think of my mother, of all the people Royce has used and discarded. Good. Because this time, we're playing for keeps. The safety deposit box key feels impossibly heavy in my palm. Helen and I stand in the bank's private viewing room, staring at the metal box between us, like it might explode. Once we open this, Helen whispers, there's no taking it back. My hand shakes as I insert the key. Inside, beneath stacks of documents, lies a single USB drive. Helen's breath catches. I started collecting everything after the first merger, she explains. The way he destroyed that family's company, how he laughed about it later. She swallows hard. I told myself it was insurance. Really, I think I was trying to ease my guilt. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. Royce. The text makes my blood freeze. Missing something. Check your email. The attachment loads slowly, revealing a hospital document. My mother's final bill, marked, payment due immediately. He's making his move, I say, showing Helen, trying to scare us off. Her phone chimes next. She goes pale, reading the message. He's at my father's office. Says if we don't bring him the drive in an hour, he'll announce the company's bankruptcy. Hundreds of people. We'll lose everything anyway if we don't stop him. I grab her arm. Helen, look at me. This is what he does. He makes us feel responsible for his choices. Tears slip down her cheeks. My father's heart condition. He can't handle this kind of stress. Then let's end it. Today. We rush to her father's office building, the USB drive burning a hole in my pocket. In the elevator, Helen's hands won't stop shaking. Wait, she says as the doors open. I should go first, try to reason with him. Something in her voice sets off warning bells. Helen, please, Emily, let me try to fix this my way first. I watch her walk down the hallway, her shoulders set with determination. Through the glass walls, I see Royce rise from behind her father's desk, his smile sharp as a blade. My phone buzzes. Gemma, where are you? Jasper just told me something huge. Do not trust. The rest is lost. As a hand clamps over my mouth, I'm dragged backward into an empty office, kicking and fighting until I hear Nathaniel's voice. Stop struggling. We don't have much time. He releases me and I spin around, ready to fight. But his face stops me. He looks terrified. Helen's been working with Royce the whole time, he says quickly. The safety deposit box, the evidence, it's all part of their plan. No. But even as I deny it, pieces click into place. Helen's convenient confession, her insistence on coming here. How do you know? He pulls out his phone, plays a recording. Helen's voice, crystal clear. Once she brings the drive, we'll have everything. All her pathetic evidence, all her copies. Royce's laugh cuts through me. And we'll finally be rid of both our problems. Nathaniel's proof and Emily's meddling. All in one neat package. The recording ends, my legs give out, and I sink into a chair, mind racing. The hospital bills. A preview of what they'll do if you don't play along. Nathaniel crouches beside me. But we can still beat them, if you trust me. Why should I? Because unlike them, I have nothing left to lose. His eyes meet mine. They took everything from me. My company, my reputation. But I've spent 3 years building a case against them. Real evidence, not the fake trail they led you to. Through the glass, I see Helen hand something to Royce, the USB drive. His smile widens as he plugs it into his laptop. What evidence? I ask Nathaniel. Proof that Royce and Helen have been working together from the start. That night at the cafe where you caught them? Staged, your mother's bills. They arranged it all, planning to use you as their scapegoat when the merger falls apart. My chest tightens. Why me? Because you're the perfect victim. Someone with just enough connection to both of them to be believable. Just enough emotional motivation to seem unstable. Through the glass, Royce's expression changes as he reads his screen. The smile vanishes. What did you do? I asked Nathaniel. Switched the drives while Helen was distracted. Right now, Royce is reading real evidence, not the fake trail they created. He stands, offering his hand. Ready to watch their world burn? I stare at his outstretched hand, thinking of my mother, of all the lives they've ruined, of how completely I fell for their act. The wedding's tomorrow, I say, taking his hand. What's our play? His smile is grim. How do you feel about giving a toast? Through the glass, Royce is frantically typing, his mask of control cracking. Helen paces behind him, their perfect plan unraveling. Tomorrow I'll stand in front of everyone they've deceived. Tomorrow I'll finally tell the truth. But first, I have a wedding toast to write. The wedding venue sparkles like a fairy tale, all white roses and crystal light. I sit at my assigned table, back corner, practically hidden behind a column, watching Helen float down the aisle in designer white. My hands shake slightly as I smooth the paper in my lap. The words of my toast burning into my palms. Gemma squeezes my arm. You don't have to do this, but I do. Because right now, Royce is standing at the altar with his practiced smile, while Helen's father beams proudly from the front row, unaware that his company's already being carved up for parts, because Sylvia's dabbing theatrical tears while wearing the necklace my mother left me, the one that disappeared during the move. The ceremony passes in a blur of hollow vows and false promises. During the reception, I watch Royce work the room, charm oozing from every pore. He's already damage controlling yesterday's evidence leak, spinning tales of corporate espionage and vindictive ex-partners. Almost time, Nathaniel murmurs, appearing beside me. Everything's in place. I nod, my throat tight. The USB drive in my clutch contains everything, not just Royce's financial crimes, but emails proving Helen's involvement, footage of their planning sessions, records of every life they've ruined together. The DJ announces it's time for toasts. Helen's father goes first, his voice thick with emotion, as he welcomes Royce to the family. Sylvia follows, her speech dripping with subtle digs about proper matches and social responsibilities. Then it's my turn. My heels click against the marble floor as I approach the microphone. The room falls silent, hundreds of eyes watching as I unfold my paper. Royce's smile doesn't waver, but I see his fingers tighten around his champagne glass. Love, I begin, my voice steadier than I feel, is built on trust, on honesty, on choosing each other, even when it's hard. I meet Helen's eyes. She's gone very still. I've known Royce and Helen for years, watched their relationship bloom, seen how perfectly they complement each other. Royce relaxes slightly. Helen doesn't. They taught me so much about love, I continue, about how it can blind you, how the people you trust most can use your faith against you, how a carefully crafted lie can destroy not just hearts, but lives. The room's atmosphere shifts. Confused murmurs ripple through the crowd. For instance, I pull out my phone. Did you know that while Helen was helping me plan my future with Royce, she was also helping him transfer my dying mother's medical bills into my name? Or that right now, as we celebrate their love, their lawyers are preparing to blame me for the coming corporate collapse. Emily, Royce's voice carries a warning. You're embarrassing yourself. Am I? I press play on my phone. His voice fills the room. Once the merger falls apart, Emily's emotional instability will make the perfect cover story. Who wouldn't believe the jealous ex snapped? Gasps echo through the hall. Helen's father stands, his face ashen. Sylvia moves toward me, but Gemma blocks her path. Security, Royce calls. But Nathaniel's already signaling to the officers by the door. They don't move. The SEC has everything, I tell him. Every document, every recording, every life you've destroyed. It's over. You don't understand what you've done, Helen hisses, grabbing my arm. Do you know how many people depend on what? Your lies? I shake her off. Ask your father if he knows about the offshore accounts. Ask him where his pension fund really went. Her father sways, clutching his chest. People rush to help him. As chaos erupts, Royce tries to slip away, but security finally moves to block the exits. You're just like us, Helen spits as officers approach, using people, manipulating situations for revenge. No, I step back, watching Royce's mask finally crack as handcuffs click around his wrists. I'm nothing like you, because I'm choosing truth, even though it hurts. The next hour blurs into statements and signatures. Helen's father is rushed to hospital, stable but shaken. Sylvia's arrested, trying to delete files from Royce's office. Throughout it all, my mother's necklace gleams at her throat, a final testament to their casual cruelty. Later, standing outside in the cool night air, Gemma hugs me tight. You did it. We did it, I correct, watching Nathaniel talk to investigators. He catches my eye, nods once. Whatever his motivations, he helped expose the truth. That's enough for now. My phone buzzes. A message from the hospital's billing department. Account cleared. The weight of years lifts from my shoulders as justice finally arrives. Not with a bang, but with a quiet ding of digital confirmation. Inside, the perfect wedding lies in ruins. But out here, under the stars, I feel something I haven't in years. Free. And that's worth more than any revenge. Dawn breaks over the city as I climb the familiar steps to my mother's favorite spot, a small garden overlooking the harbor. The morning after the wedding, and I haven't slept, can't sleep. My phone keeps lighting up with news alerts, messages, voicemails from people I haven't heard from in years. The necklace weighs heavy in my pocket. After Sylvia's arrest, an officer returned it to me with an evidence receipt. Now, sitting on the same bench where Mom used to read me stories, I hold it up to the rising sun, watching light dance through the pendant. I thought I'd find you here. I turn to see Jasper, looking as exhausted as I feel. He sits beside me, leaving careful space between us. Nathaniel's been arrested, he says quietly. My heart stops. What? The evidence he gave you. It was real. But how he got it? Jasper runs a hand through his disheveled hair. He didn't just expose Royce's crimes. He committed plenty of his own along the way. Did he know, when he helped me, that he'd go down too? Yeah. Jasper's laugh holds no humor. Said it was worth it to watch Royce fall. Guess revenge comes in many forms. The irony sits heavy in my chest. Everyone playing their own game of justice. Each of us thinking we were different, better, righteous. There's something else, Jasper continues. Something I should have told you sooner. He pulls out an envelope, aged and creased. Your mother wrote this, near the end. Asked me to give it to you when you were ready to hear the truth. My hands shake as I open it. Mom's familiar handwriting fills the page. My dearest Emily, by now you know about Royce, about the bills, about all of it. What you don't know is that I chose this. When Royce offered to pay for my treatment in exchange for my silence about what I'd discovered at his company, I agreed, not to save myself, but to protect you from what I knew would happen if I exposed him then. I'm sorry for the burden this placed on you, but I'm not sorry for choosing your future over my conscience. Sometimes love means making impossible choices. The truth is your weapon now, darling. Use it wisely. Use it not for revenge, but for justice. There's a difference. One leaves you empty, the other sets you free. All my love, Mom. Tears blur my vision as pieces click into place. Mom's insistence that I keep fighting after she was gone. Her strange calm when Royce offered to help. The knowing look in her eyes when Helen started coming around more often. She protected me, I whisper. Even then she was protecting me. She was buying time, Jasper says gently, making sure you'd be strong enough when the truth finally came out. The harbor breeze carries the scent of salt and new beginnings. I clasp the necklace around my neck, feeling its familiar weight, no longer a reminder of theft, but of sacrifice, of love stronger than vengeance. My phone buzzes. Gemma, Helen's father made it through surgery. He's asking to see you. Are you going to go? Jasper asks. I think of Helen in handcuffs, of Royce's mask finally cracking, of Nathaniel's Pyrrhic victory, of my mother making an impossible choice. Yes, I say, not for revenge, not even for justice anymore, but because someone needs to tell him the whole truth. Someone who remembers what it's like to have your whole world built on lies. Jasper stands, offers his hand. Want company? I take it, letting him pull me up. The sun has fully risen now, painting the city in shades of possibility. My phone buzzes again. Reporters, investigators, more people wanting pieces of the story. But standing here, in my mother's favorite place, I finally understand. The story was never about revenge. It wasn't even about justice. Not really. It was about truth. The kind that costs everything. The kind that sets you free. I slip my phone back in my pocket, unanswered. The hospital can wait a few more minutes. Right now, I want to sit with my mother's words, with the weight of her love around my neck, with the understanding that sometimes the greatest act of courage isn't in bringing others down. It's in choosing to rise above. Ready? Jasper asks. I take one last look at the harbor, at the light dancing across waves that keep moving forward, always forward, no matter what tries to hold them back. Yes, I say, I'm ready. And for the first time since this all began, I truly am.